Yeah, sometimes it feels like you a faraway God, and I hate it when people push me off to the side, especially when they are supposed to be the ones that love me, but they still choose to hurt and hate me. But I just want to be free, because bitterness coming in and I am feeling all alone. Why do I feel so weak and discouraged? Leave me, I'm going home. The enemy in my ear, I'm hearing you're not good enough. Gotta deal with this mess from my past. Believe me, that's some stuff, but you ain't gotta give up on me now and call it quits, my people. And you gotta know nobody's perfect, but we can overcome this evil. So why do I care about how others view me and what they thinking? I know I'm forgiven and loved of all my past thinking. Yeah, I know you're here for me. Your love is here to stay. I know you're here for me. Your love won't run away.
Although I've fallen down, you still wear the crown. I know your grace abounds. You're here to stay. Although I've fallen down, you still wear the crown. So let your love surround. You're here.
Hey, modern day Christians, stop looking down on the people. I hope you get Christian on them, praying and laying hands on this evil. That's what you are, a little representation of Christ. Judging you will be just, so bring love to the strife. People hurting out in these streets, won't you give them hope? Because they don't have to look too far to find them some dope. See, everybody wants something that they can love and feel. When those nails went into Jesus, I tell you that was real. I'm just a southern man who been through lots of hurts and pains. I've got a savior who breaks the bondage and all my shame. Shout hallelujah, lift up his name if you're not the same. If you have got Holy Spirit flaming, you give him fame. Yeah, I know you're here for me.
This is my world.
Let's make it count.
I must practice stories. Next, GSL Season 2. Renaissance. 2019 Mountain Dew GSL Season 2. Code S. Renaissance.
Right here, right now.
What is up, guys? Welcome to the GSL Code S. We are finally here. In the Final Four, it has been a very dominant showing from Protoss.
What are you talking about? We have a Zerg in here. Dominant would be for Protoss.
You're right. How dare I say that? But in all seriousness, Protoss have been really killing it here. You're right, we do have one Zerg. There is still hope that maybe we have a non-Protoss champion. But today, it's going to be a PvP.
Yeah, and a good PvP at that. We have two of our absolute best players as far as macro goes in the race of Protoss. I think these are two of the guys that you really think of other than stats to represent that. Now, does that mean that we're going to go over, I don't know, 45 probes? Probably not. But
will we have a third base? Probably not, but we'll see. We'll see.
We could have a placeholder Nexus at a third base location. That's a possibility.
That's a possibility for sure. PvP has been, especially in the current way that StarCraft is being played, a very crazy matchup, a lot of proxies, a lot of deceptive play. There's many different branches and how you can open up. So in this best of 7, we should probably expect to see every kind of insane build come out here.
Yeah, I think that planning is going to play a big part. And when you look at who these players are, we have Trap, who has SOS on his team, so has access to every crazy strategy ever thought of, plus some that haven't been. And then you have Classic, who's basically the best prep Protoss we've ever seen. I mean, it should run the gamut.
Certainly. Classic has been steadily improving. At times, he's been the best Protoss out there, only to fall back a few ranks, I guess you could say, to other Protosses, such as Stats. But it seems like now he's better than he's ever been. A lot of people are saying he is the best player out of the 4 that we have remaining.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people expect...
that.
Yeah, a lot of people expect him to go to the finals, but I think it is also very realistic that Trap could cause an upset here.
Possibly.
We're going to go to an interview now.
공허의 유산이
Translated.
시작된
Enjoy,
이래
guys.
최대 이변이 펼쳐진 시즌2였지만 이 선수들에게는 이변이 통하지 않았습니다.
Please welcome
지난
to a
시즌에 이어
semi-final list.
2연속
Trap
4강에
Classic.
오른 김도우, 조성호 선수 만나보겠습니다. 자, 먼저 김도우
First,
선수입니다.
start with Classic.
2018년 슈퍼토너먼트 시즌2
He made all the finals since 2018 Super Tournament Season 2.
김도우 선수가 있었습니다.
And now
정말
he's looking for another
대단한데요.
finals now.
이번 시즌도 결승 코앞까지 왔거든요.
You're now
어떠세요?
looking for another finals. How's your feeling?
네, 오늘 느낌 나쁘지 않고
I feel not
올해
bad.
계속해서 결승 무대에는
I made all the
가고 있기
finals
때문에
this year.
이번에도 이기고 결승
And tonight
무대에
again
갈
I
수
will make another
네.
finals.
이렇게 실력도 받쳐주고 있고 돌아가는 상황도 김도우 선수에게 정말 좋다. 정말
current
절호의 기회다.
situation is pretty good for
우승이다
Classic.
이야기를 하는데요. 요즘 얼마나
This is the season that you're gonna make the victory.
사실 시즌 1
What does it
때부터
mean to you?
지금까지 거의 쉬는 날이 없을 정도로
From
계속
season 1, I
스타트만 하고
didn't
있고
have a
이렇게
rest day.
계속 하다 보니까 성적이
I
잘 나오는
practice
것
a lot.
같고 이렇게 또 성적이 나오니까
By practicing,
지치지
I made
않고
good
이렇게
results
계속
recently.
열심히 달릴 수 있는 것 같아요.
네, 열심히 달리고 있다
I'm
하셨는데요.
running now.
이번에는 조성호
Now we
선수입니다.
are interview
2019년
with
현재 김도우 선수와 함께 프로토스
He's another
전성시대를 이끌고 있는
Protoss
선수죠.
who's making
가장 기세가
tournament
좋은 또 한 명의
dominate.
프로토스로서 좋은 모습 보여주고 계신데요.
He's now.
자,
Trap is doing
지금 최전성기를 걷고
pretty good
계시잖아요.
recent days.
네, 4강도 두 번째로
You
올라오시게
made another
됐는데 두
semi-finals.
번째 4강 소감은 어떠신가요?
How's your second semi-finals
솔직히
this year?
저번에 첫 4강 올라왔을 때는 약간
Last season,
8강과는 다른 중압감 같은 게 약간
there was
있었는데
pressure on
그래도
semi-finals.
이번에는 두 번째로 올라오다 보니까 좀
But
덜 하는
this
것
is my
같아요.
second season.
이번은 두
to the
번째 무대라서
semi-finals,
좀
but
다르다
I feel much
이야기를
better.
하시는데요. 보통은 선수들이 경기가 끝나고 그때 팬분들한테 선물을 많이 받으시거든요.
Normally after the
오늘은
match, you got lots of
경기장
presents
대기실에
from the
들어오실
fans.
때부터 선물을 하나를 들고
You get the lots
들어오셨습니다.
of presents
어떤
from the fans
선물인가요?
tonight. How do you
빵이랑
feel?
이제 케이크를
And then what you get?
팬분이 주셨는데
I
좀
get
감사하다는
some
말
breads
전해드리고 싶어요.
and some
오늘
some
4강 때
presents.
잘 하라고요.
And the fans told me that
정말 힘이
please do
나실 것
well
같습니다. 자, 두 선수와 함께 더 이야기를
We're
해보겠습니다.
gonna
두
talk a bit
선수의 대결 정말 기대가 되는데 이신영 선수보다 조성호 선수를 원한다고
after round of
하셨거든요.
8, you said you
김도우
prefer
선수, 조성호
play
선수로
against Trap
확정되고
than
기분이 어떠셨어요?
innovations. After
어,
Trap defeat innovation, how do you feel?
라이브로 보고 있었는데
I was watching
제발
live.
성우를 이겨라, 성우가 이겨라 하고
I was
응원을 많이 했거든요.
Really
성우가
cheering
이기고 나서
Trap to win, Trap to defeat innovation.
생각을 할 정도로
And then after the match, I feel like,
마음이
oh yeah, I
편안했어요.
made to the
네,
finals.
이번에도 결승 갔다 자신감이 생기셨던 것
He's
같습니다.
pretty confident
사실
with
이렇게 자신감 가질 만한 이유가
with
있죠. 2019년 오프라인 매치 기준 푸프전 패배가
there's reason for
없습니다.
reason for his
우승
confidence because
0패
he never lose to
무패인데요. 와,
lose to
푸프전
Protoss in
변수가
this year.
많아서 힘들다는 말도 이제 옛말인가요?
What does it mean to you?
저도 연습 때는 풋볼전이 좀막
During the practice?
심리전도 많이 나오고 빌드 싸움도 많이 나와서
I get like mind
어렵긴
games
한데
and
대회
lots of
때는 성적이
build
잘
fights.
나오더라고요. 그래서 오늘도
So I didn't do pretty well
대회다
on
보니까
lines.
성적이 잘 나오지 않을까 싶네요.
네. 뭐
But I'm
커리어에서
doing pretty good
밀릴지언정 현재 실력,
on
기세에서만큼은
the
자신감 있죠. 자, 조성호 선수, 김도우 선수를 꺾기 위한 준비 어떻게 하셨나요?
Are you ready to defeat Classic?
그냥 팀원들이랑 연습 많이 했고
And what did you do
생각을
to
좀 많이
defeat
했어요.
Classic?
풋볼전은 심리전이 워낙 중요하다 보니까 그리고
I practice a lot with
제가
my
최근에는
teammates.
원래 제가 풋볼전이 좀 약점이라는 이미지가
In
있었는데
fact,
최근에
I had
진격도
weakness
별로
in
없고 많이
PvP,
보겠다고
but I
생각하거든요.
practice a
그래서
lot.
도우 형이랑 경기도 재밌을 것 같아요.
I think it's gonna
과연
be
오늘 그
fun match.
약점을 극복한
Play
모습
against.
저희가 볼 수 있을지
Classic.
기대가 되는데요. 오늘 필승의 각오로 준비를 해오신 것 같습니다. 두 분 마지막으로 서로에게 한 마디씩
Both of you,
해보겠습니다.
do you have
먼저
any
조성호 선수.
Last word to your opponents.
도우 형이랑
First
이제
trap.
대기실에서 얘기를 했었는데
I talked to
내일
Classic
시험을 본다고 하더라고요.
and
그래요?
네,
Cla-
의무교차 시험을 본다고 하더라고요.
네.
그래서 오늘 제가
Classic
이겨가지고
going
결승전
to
생각할
take
필요
another
없이 편한
exam tomorrow.
마음으로 볼 수 있게 해드리겠습니다.
I think I gonna
내일
make
의무경찰
Classic to
시험
make
집중하게
feel comfortable
도와주신다고
with
합니다. 화답해
tomorrow's
주시죠.
exam because I'm gonna defeat him tonight. How about you, Classic?
당황하셨어요?
네, 저런 말을
Are you
할 줄
flat?
몰랐는데
네.
성호도
I didn't know.
오늘
I
제가
didn't know whether
이기고
traps
나서
say that.
트럼프가 와서
네.
군대로 갔으면 좋겠네요.
네, 이렇게 서로에게
I
훈훈한
think
덕담 한
Trap
마디씩
also going to
주고받았는데요.
the
지난 8강에서
military
어유수의
studies.
무패 기록을 깨고 올라온 김도우 선수, 마지막 테란 이신영 선수를 잡고 올라온 조성호 선수. 프로토스 전성시대를 맨 앞에서 이끌고 있는 두 선수의 대결입니다. 지금까지 김도우, 조성호 선수 인터뷰였습니다.
This is the interview, Classic and Trap.
너무 쉽게 깹니다. 너무 쉽게. 그게 김도우의 간절함인가요? 늦었죠? 취재! 완벽한 준비성으로 김도우 선수가 준결승전으로 갑니다. 이대호 최우의 선수로 2연속 타격을 취재! 마지막 남은 진에어 그릭스의 조성호가 준결승
All right, we're moments away from starting this best of 7. By the way, I love that video we made here.
Yeah.
We did a good job in production there. That was very cool.
It kind of does show what's up. It's actually something I didn't even think of is that he is the last Jin Air Green Wings player.
Yeah.
And if you look at tournaments for the last several years, Jin Air Green Wings is in almost every single finals. It
Yeah,
is
that's true.
absurd. There's so few tournaments that they haven't been in the finals of. But yeah, these guys, of course, both coming out of the top 4 last season. Of course, was his teammate last season in Maru, the Trap. But here he is. Can he beat Classic in PvP? I think that right now, it's hard to say that anyone's going to beat Classic in anything.
It's just hard to imagine Classic losing. He's got such an improved Protoss that he's brought out here. You know, sometimes in certain seasons in StarCraft, you can say that really the player who's going to win has to be the best at one matchup. In this case, it's PvP. If you are able to be a top-tier PvP player, you're going to get deeper in this tournament because we had so many Protoss players that showed up. This might be the last PvP we have, though. I think on the other side of the bracket, Dark is slightly favored
I would say.
to move on. But This is going to be a tough one because even though I think Classic is so good, Trap is clearly somebody who can plan.
Yeah.
I like what you were pointing out with the fact that this is the last generic Green Wings player. He has the entire team backing him against Classic, who's a lone wolf. We've also seen it seesaw from players that are on teams dominating to sometimes solo players killing it. We saw this, for instance, with Bjorn, where the entire generic Green Wings team could not hammer together a strategy to take on his control.
Very true.
Maybe Classic is going to do that to Trap here, because I know that both these players put a lot of prep going into the series.
Oh, no doubt. This is probably the most prep they've ever been for anything, and it's PvP. We're about to start best of 7. The winner goes on to the finals.
That's right. We'll start off on King's Cove. Classic versus Trap begins now.
Makers Classic. Jin Air Green Wings. Trap.
Okay, I want to talk about a period of time from a long time ago.
Please.
About Trap that I found so fascinating at the time. And if you're a longtime GSL watcher and you remember things that don't matter very much, and this might be something you remember, but like back in Heart of the Swarm, we had a period with a lot of good Protoss players. That's just kind of, I guess, a period we've had in Korea a lot. But Shadows of Gameworks, Seattle. Oh, we've been there, yeah.
Oh yeah, we have been there.
Yeah, it was fun. We chased some nerds off the Street Fighter machine.
That's right.
They
we showed
came
up.
and they're like, I think I'll play some Street Fighter. Not against us, you won't.
We were a couple of
Get
thugs,
wrecked.
man, showing up in the arcade. Yeah. Those kids had to head for the hills.
They did. They were running out quarters or dropping out of their pockets. When you dropped your quarters, you can keep them! And they're crying, running out the door. Anyways, at that time, Trap was a clear Tier 2 Protoss. I wasn't quite saying yet. Even E-Mini wasn't saying that he was underrated at the time. He was like a Tier 2. Maybe even a bottom of Tier 2 Protoss. He wasn't, the same level as some of the other guys, Hero and all them. But he is someone that I actually made this argument for a little bit that playing PvP well was bad. And that was because the better players were all trying to stop everything, while people like Trap, that were a level down, were actually getting way increased win rates against them because they would just take an edge. They'd be like, I don't know, this can lose to DTs, but I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Right? So they wouldn't get observed with their blink, for instance.
So much cutting of corners.
And he was the poster boy for that at that time. Nowadays, I look at his PvP, which, by the way, you have a proxy Stargate. Don't want to skip over everything. But nowadays, his PvP, I feel like he's almost extremely good. But he sometimes, is he too addicted to glaives? Like, I don't even know. I don't even know if
he's
that's
gone glaives a lot.
He's a glaives guy.
By the way, wait, he did not actually
No, he
spot
did not
that.
see that.
He had a click to go there, but did not commit to that. I feel like we've seen Trap in several different iterations of himself. He doesn't seem to have, you take someone, we were mentioning Bjorn, for instance, earlier. Bjorn is somebody he's going to try to go for micro fights early on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what units he likes to use. I think Trap has gone through several different iterations of how he approaches the game and the matchup. And I think the one that we're looking at now is definitely capable of cutting corners, but also very comfortable playing very safe.
Mm-hmm.
Almost a little bit stats-esque at times. Although I don't know if that's necessarily as true in PvP.
Yeah, PvP is such a wild matchup right now.
Okay, so initially this Oracle comes in, 6 kills.
Ridiculous amount of damage. 6 kills off that Proxy Oracle. Of course, he was timed out for a non-Proxy Oracle there.
Yeah.
So that's painful. He even got it scouted that he's going for the Robo. So...
And from here, Classic throws down another Nexus. There's 2 Oracles over here, which it mutes the shield battery, basically. You could just zap down probes immediately because of the DPS. And we're going to see that now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well,
that should make Trap feel a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm actually mildly surprised that the Nexus went down so quickly for Classic. Because he saw the Robo, right? And when you see Robo in the main base like this, it is undoubtedly going to be stalkers with you know, a prism to just try to break you.
I think the idea was if he tries to come out and break him, the 2 oracles can come in and just gun down the workers, and then maybe you just cancel. You even stack the Nexus, throw it away, try to run up onto the high ground, and just win in a game where you have a better, you know, economic engine going for you. But then he came in, I think, a little bit too eager there with the 2 oracles, lost one, and he might end up being in an uncomfortable spot here.
Kind of makes sense. Like, he lost a lot of probes early on, so it's hard to super critique how he's playing, but if he went for the Robo already, and he killed an Oracle, because I think you're probably right about trying to pin him in there, but you got rid of one of the Oracles, you have a shield battery. I feel like this might open up a chance for you to move across the map with your Prism and with your Stalkers and try to get something done, but instead, he's playing from a deficit in every single area right now. It's not like there's this one little special secret hidden area that Trap is ahead in right now.
Okay, nice little adept harass here. Gotta be careful not to get too ambitious with that Warp Prism. It looks like there's just not enough Stalkers to have any real impact, so we can actually maneuver that pretty freely here. And we're now in the phase of the game here where both sides are gonna be incrementing out Immortals. And with the Forge there from Trap, I guess there's a nod towards a later game here.
Yeah, I think he realizes that there's nothing he can really get done now. He's missed any sort of window that he might have had. And the fact that he's just going to go into upgrades, that's smart. Sit back, play defensively, make Immortals, get some upgrades. Maybe later on in the game, you know, there will be some sort of moment where you can come back now.
Yeah, I think going for the long play is definitely a good idea here. Trap just staying outside on the edges of this base. And he might try to do something tactical here, coming into the main and then just trying to gun down as many probes as possible. Keep in mind the Warp Prism is over there just on the side of our screen, and it actually gets shot down. Another misstep here from Trap. And I gotta say, you know, it's one thing to lose those workers early on, to lose the Warp Prism again. And considering PvP tends to be pretty short, keeping Robo units alive is one of the most important things to be doing.
Yeah.
It's going to allow you to make easier decisions later on. For instance, losing that Warp Prism. Okay, now do you make another one? Do you stop making Immortals?
Yeah, that's a hard one.
You immediately lose so many options there. So Trap having a hard time. Again, the game's not over, but Classic continues to eke out a lead.
Yeah. I like Classic's play in a lot more ways than this from Trap, right? Because, as you said, that does take up valuable build time there. It was kind of interesting in the way that he flew the Prism up on the side. It almost looked like one of these moves that you'll see oftentimes against Zerg, where you shade in a couple depths, kill a drone, and pop him into the Prism. But the main base isn't situated like that, so he hasn't really found that damage.
Classic has his Warp Prism just down here. I believe there's a blind spot inside the main, so he can actually unload, and it looks like he's not going to warp in, but instead come in here and just take some free hits. Yeah. I mean, losing a pylon is potentially the least impactful thing that could happen, but it's something, right? And I think Classic is being smart by trying to continue to squeeze out a little bit of an advantage without really any risk involved. He could have, for instance, tried to go for a Robo or gone right into where the workers are, but this is pretty safe what he's doing over here, as long as he doesn't lose that Warp Prism.
You know what's kind of interesting? Ooh, that was beautiful.
So good.
Yeah. You know what's kind of interesting here, watching this game unfold, is that Trap actually got up to a higher worker count than Classic, and you know, just utilizing those adepts. So in some ways, he did end up recovering here, and he's got the same amount of Immortals, which is a huge part of this.
Yeah, we have more gates coming down here. I have to say, the fact that these tactics keep working, and Trap has no way to assert himself right now, this is, I think, going to get worse and not better here for Trap.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go for the Warp Prism, but you can see the Immortal actually blocks the way, and with the Warp Prism pickup range, he just easily gets that out. Now, we have that Warp Prism remade over here for Trap. He's going to try to come in and get some P-Tech here. Let's see how Classic handles this.
It was pretty messy to try to handle. He did repower that Stargate, so it might even be worth his while to make a Phoenix out of it.
That's a good point.
Oh, he actually already did.
Yeah.
There it is.
Charge is on the way here. Already finishing for Trap, but Classic's a few seconds behind.
Yeah, both sides going for that +2.
Look at the combination of this. The Oracle with the Immortal and the Stalker War Prism, it's really tough to figure out what you want to target down, right?
Isn't that
We
weird?
haven't really seen this before.
No, we've never seen it before. It's never happened.
And now that we're looking at it, I feel like this makes complete and total sense.
It's so
you lay the trap, right? They might want to target that, but then the Immortal and the Stalkers are doing so much damage. You're obviously very tempted to get the Warp Prism, but if you try to attack into the Warp Prism, the Stasis Ward can get set off and freeze your army anyways. It's like, how do you really deal with this?
Yeah, I guess it should be pointed out that this will only work against a Robo opening when you think of it. Because if you went Blink, you'll stop it, and if you went Stargate, obviously you'll just make a Phoenix against this. But what a very interesting play here from Classic.
But if you have a game that pans out with Robo play, this is probably what you want to do.
It seems cool. Like if the game progresses like this, where no one can really do too much to each other.
He's getting worker kills, and he's also he's freezing workers. It's like he's getting the best of both worlds. Now Trap is going to try to come out here for a timing attack. Classic is in the process of acquiring a third. The question is was all that harass, all that damage that Trap took, did that actually slow him down enough? Because two base, he's going to cancel.
This army is not a joke.
No, this is
a serious army.
Yeah,
through that choke though, it's a little bit of a joke.
I don't think he can push this much further. I think it was worth it for Classic to try to expand, but he can't push this issue any further. And of course, two base on two base, Classic still has a steady lead. Unpowering those gates too.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And, you know, both of them sitting here with +2. Looks like Classic has 5 Immortals against 2, so with stats like that, I mean, yeah, you have an Archon lead, but the Immortals end up being worth so much in these battles.
It's a little suspect, that Zealot attack there. I don't think he was quite paying attention.
I think he thought he might chase him to the third or something, and then he can get some harass done, but
okay.
I feel like Trap has had the door shut on him so many times now.
Well, I think the way that this game should go from here is Classic just expands again.
Yeah.
Trap denied the base, but he did it at a cost. He lost workers, many of them. He even lost some pylons back there. And Classic, I think, simply expands again and waits. It says, go ahead, try to attack into me again here.
Yeah. You know what? This Immortal Harassment, I mean, it's definitely doing a job. Maybe, though, do you think Classic might need to attack? Because if he just expands again, doesn't this give Trap another opportunity of making a big enough army that you can't go up his ramp? Like, if Trap right now, because Classic did just throw it on his third Nexus, what if Trap sits very defensively on top of his ramps right now, just keeps making units for that, and goes directly into Disruptor Tech? That feels like in a situation in which there's a comeback possibility.
You know, also the fact that the third base is easy to hold, I think you make a good point there.
Yeah.
You know, if Classic tries to attack in and Trap holds it, well then Trap's basically survived this whole problem. And we go into a super late game PvP.
Well,
but
Classic
instead,
looks like he's going for the kill, though.
Yeah, Classic wants to come out and wants to try to get into a fight. This angle, though, not ideal for Classic here.
No, very good engagement there by Trap to start off with. Very clutch play. He needs moves like that right now. He needs to buy some more time. He did start +3, whereas Classic did not. Classic, I think, is really looking forward to just ending the game here because he does have that big advantage. But if you take your fights in just the right spots, you can get that defender's advantage.
Classic continuing to push forward. We see Trap retreating up onto his high ground. I'm sorry, where is Classic's Warp Prism? Is he going to fly that into the main and start warping?
I think it's right behind his army.
Okay. Oh, I think I saw the shadow of it for a second. Okay, so he's continuing to roam here.
Gosh, he has so many Immortals.
Created a bit of a no man's land here. I would be surprised if either player tries to attack into that. Now, with the Warp Prism and 2 Archons, I think he's going to drop this behind the workers there and try to actually get a warp in. Here we go.
It's a smart move. He can get up the ramp now.
Because if he gets up the ramp, then he confirms there's not going to be a third base for Trap, and Classic wins in a very technical late game fashion.
Yeah, now that he's up here, I mean, this game is... What a clinical game from Classic, seriously.
He had great harass at the start, and then he's just played this positional game perfectly.
He really has.
And you could even see Trap trying to move out, blocked off by the army there. And Classic's third base is finished, by the way. So now he's just mining from his third. He's now leagues ahead economically from where Trap is. And I think very intelligently. So Classic just goes back home and defends the counterattack.
Okay, so I think that this is Trap's only chance to win the game right now. He has +3 against not +3, and their army supply is pretty close. So if he is going to win this game at all, it's right now.
The Warp Prism's going to go down. So the harass
nice
ends.
pick.
But can he actually get in here and do the damage? This bottleneck is very tight.
Oh, God,
Okay,
no.
good call there. He immediately turns around. He's going to move back up here.
If they're on flat terrain, maybe there's a chance. Going up these little ramps. I mean, the ramp is not even that little, but look at these armies.
Yeah, the ramps
Can you imagine trying? What do you need to go up that ramp?
The ramps are a little considering how much they have.
Any race tasteless, what do you need to go up that ramp?
You need a lot, man.
You need brood lords tasteless. It's the only way, and they fly, so it's not even a real answer.
Oh my God, he's going to try to come in now. Really good angling here by Classic. He's got a pretty good arc, but I have to say Travis kind of squeezed his way in here, and the warp in position is really nice.
Yeah.
He actually might be able to engulf this a little bit further.
The Immortals are just too strong. See how there's still 5? There's 5 at the beginning of the battle.
Yeah.
There's still 5. There's still only 1 for his opponent. Like, Immortals beat everything.
GG. Classic takes game 1.
Crazy.
In a really sophisticated PvP. That was actually pretty beautiful. I mean, the way Classic approached that, you can really see he knows exactly where to take his victories.
Yeah.
He's not really overextending. It wasn't a perfect game. I mean, he did lose a Warp Prism and a few other moves, but he knew exactly how to pick fights that were very difficult, especially that Oracle Warp Prism harass with the Immortal and the Stalkers and the Warp Prism. And then really elegantly shuts Trap out of a third base while Classic's getting his own, and then collapses back to defend his own base because he's already taken the lead. Trap has to do something. He can't just play from behind, and Classic holds. So good.
The level of skill that Classic displayed throughout that game was amazing. And it's not that Trap was bad. Trap kept trying to make things happen, and they didn't happen, unfortunately. I mean, he ended up killing some probes here and there, but I tell you, I feel like this is still going to be a very good match, though, because Trap got into a tough position right from the get-go and still fought really well and did a lot of things nicely.
Yeah. It's far from over. We're going to GSL Cobalt, one of our weirder maps here in the GSL, as this best of 7 continues. Again, the winner of Classic and Trap goes to the GSL Code S Finals.
Makers Classic. Jin Air Green Wings Trap.
So one thing we just want to get out of the way early on here is that hidden bases have been a big theme on this map.
Yeah, they have.
Because this is our big map here. We've had a lot of 1v1 maps, and those are generally a little bit smaller. They don't have to be, but they generally are. And this is a huge 4-player map, and sometimes PvP can be so tight and action-packed early on that one player can just slip a hidden base, and as long as they're good with the defense back at home, if the other player doesn't find it, they will end up with a bad read on where they are economically, and you can win in the long run. I don't know if it's necessarily great PvP, but it's something we've definitely seen. All right, that's an excellently drawn Classic there.
You can't take a photo of someone and say it's poorly drawn. That's mean.
But we'll see if this is even a long game at all.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that game 1 went on in that kind of fashion. I mean, I'm happy to have a long PvP, but we've had so many short games.
Well, King's Cove is the ultimate defensive map, right? So if you're going to have a longer one, it's probably that map, maybe Thunderbird. I feel like it's just in general, you almost never see mining third bases in PvP right now. I don't think that that's going to change in this game.
Yeah, things ramp up so fast in PvP. So we're going to watch now and try to see what the tech is going to be exactly. Last time it was a proxied Stargate that actually initially gave Classic the upper hand. I think he played it pretty excellently the entire way through.
I like trapping the probe in there, making sure that he confirms the kill.
Yep.
You don't want to just leave that probe out in the map like he's a little Mr. Bond. Things can go wrong later on.
This is a little technique where you put a pylon here because you want to see, are you going to cancel that or not? And it at least forces you to keep it going for a while. Doesn't appear that Classic's going to cancel that Stargate.
No, I don't think he is. And Trap has actually responded with his own Stargate. That's definitely a responsive Stargate, which tells me that Trap should be going Phoenixes with this. Now, Phoenixes don't beat Oracles like they used to. They used to be like, oh, he went Phoenix and he went Oracle. You know, you'd beat someone way better than your PvP. Like, oh, did you go Phoenix and they went Oracle? Like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that would be the way to
Well, there was
describe
also the
it,
situation where both sides before they had been forced to keep going Phoenixes once it started.
Yeah.
So the person who chickened out and stopped would usually end up winning a very quick air fight.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be exactly like that. Okay, he actually scouts it, it looks like. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind. I was like, where is his sentry then? There it is. It's hiding in the corner so these adepts don't kill it. Anyways, he sees that it is Phoenixes. So it's Phoenix versus Phoenix at the moment. I don't think that they'll stay heavily on Phoenix like the old days. Although, to be honest, with the way PvPs have gone so far from that, I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
It's been a long time.
We have the Twilight Council being made over here inside Trap's main behind the minerals. That Nexus is just finished up, but Trap's Nexus is actually not that far behind.
We have a bit of a probe lead right now for Trap. With that Twilight, we'll see where he wants to go with it. I would imagine into Blink. Doesn't necessarily have to be.
And we have both sides continuing to make Phoenixes here.
Sometimes you'll see someone rush into DTs against Phoenix. When you're both going Phoenix, you know?
Yeah.
Just look for that free win.
When that tech is neglected, that can be a really frustrating way to lose, but...
Well,
yeah.
and it's Phoenix versus Phoenix. The last thing you want is a Robo. You know, you really, if you can get away with not having one, that's superior. But Trap is going to go ahead and just grab Blink here.
Yeah, I think
pretty normal
smart
stuff.
move. Now
Nice.
the Oracle's actually coming in here and getting a few kills. Looks like it's going to get 3 and actually get out.
Ooh.
Oh wow, 4 even. I didn't
Yeah.
see that probe was coming out of the gas there.
Very solid. We'll end up losing it to this Phoenix, but you know, I like that he takes the risk there, grabbing that Oracle, and got some decent value out of it. Okay, Forge coming up for Trap. Meanwhile, Classic sitting back with his Robo.
Okay. Phoenixes are going to continue to roam out here for Classic.
Yeah, he's actually coming up with a decent amount of units, maybe looking to draw the army in one direction and harass the other piece. But it's a long walk. We'll see how many units are at that natural. I'm not so sure right now.
This is also already becoming a completely different game than what we saw in Game 1.
Yeah, very much so.
Last game, because of a lack of Stargate units, you could be incredibly abusive with Warp Prisms.
Yeah, a game like this, you don't even want to make one almost. You see, he's actually sent a probe to make a pylon.
Here comes forward. Blink just now finishes. And is Trap actually going to try to move out here?
Well, he's got Blink, so I think, yeah, why not? Get out here and mess up what Classic has. So this should make Classic really start focusing on getting into a lot of Immortals. Both of them do have Forges up, so that's going to be pretty similar. The question here for Trap is, do you try to stay very gateway heavy and either play aggressively or take more bases? Or are you going to go ahead and start your own Immortal production? And with 13 Blink Stalkers, I think he's answered our question for us.
Yeah. He's going to try to come up now. Keep in mind the Phoenixes can basically disarm some of these Stalkers in that fight. And then with the Immortal here on the low ground, it looks like a fight that probably Classic can take as long as he executes things correctly.
Yeah.
But what if Trap tries to blink in somewhere crazy here? All right, a blink away immediately. It's either that or you try to blink onto the Immortal.
Yeah.
Probably not going to work against Classic, though.
Especially with that many Phoenixes in the air. Like, you can just be torn apart. Gets up here with his Phoenixes, realizing that these Stalkers are not a threat anymore. And he sees a probe waiting over near the third bases, which is what you would expect when someone has this many Blink Stalkers. You really need to utilize your gateway unit count, right? You're kind of more mobile than an Immortal-based army, so you've got to take your third quickly, and that's exactly what we see Trap doing.
If we see Classic aggressively moving into mid-game here with a lot of gateways, he's going to have a lot more muscle on the map. The Templar Archives has started as well. And Trap actually, I'm wondering how this is going to pan out for him, because he's taking this Nexus. A lot of times in PvP, we see both sides power up on 2 bases. Even in StarCraft 1, I've even seen that as a kind of general understanding of Protoss.
Yeah.
Is that he who takes the third base too quickly is oftentimes not going to survive for long enough for that third base to really kick in.
Yeah, and that's what Classic's going to be going for here regardless. Like, he is 100% going to hit a big Immortal push. It's going to be like 3 Immortals, +1 attack, charge Archon. I would be surprised if he doesn't move out. You know, you have to be a little bit careful, because if you lose that army one time when you're a little bit behind on bases, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble. But his army really is going to be just barely smaller and countering his opponents.
Okay, immediately Classic comes in here, gets a few pickoffs. Those Phoenixes had already scouted and confirmed that the third base was there.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and retract that. It seems with how heavy... Oh my god, he loses the Prism.
Wow.
Well, the Prism is a big part of the attack, so he can't go until he gets it.
Prism, like, is the attack.
Yeah.
Without it, you can't reinforce.
But to be honest, with the amount of harassment he's done with the Phoenixes, now the Phoenixes aren't the most valuable thing in the whole world during the actual engagement, but it almost makes me feel like he wants to wait until his +2.
Yeah, it does seem like that. Well, he's taking his third now, and he might try to come in here a little bit later on. Again, Classic is pretty methodical in PvP. Even though we've had historically a lot of very crazy games PvP and GSL, it seems like so far as we go into Game 2, again, it's Classic just trying to navigate this into a game where he could just have enough boxes ticked off that when it comes time for the final fight, he's basically handled everything perfectly and he should have a minor lead. And I guess in this case, yeah, it's going to be that +2. Trap actually coming out here now that his base has been up and running for a little while, and he might try to get a little bit of positional play here and make it tough for Classic to actually move out.
Ooh, I don't know if this is going to work. He actually blinks in, starts targeting Archons here with his Stalkers, which means he's relying heavily on his charge lots.
+2
I don't think he has
here.
enough.
You know, this looked wrong before it happened.
Yeah.
But he's committing. The Archons are all over here on the left side. A lot of Immortals and Archons here for Classic.
And he needs to get something done with this attack, and it's not feeling like there's going to be enough done.
Yeah, War Prism very low, at risk of being targeted here. We have another Warp Pit coming now for Classic. Classic fends off that attack pretty easily.
And now Classic has just a gigantic lead.
Yeah,
he had a lead before, but it's bigger.
The attack timing just seemed a little bit weird, didn't it? Yeah, Classic's been on 2 bases powering up. His third base is later. Trap's third base had finished, but I don't know if that had really kicked in. And he also didn't have as much high-tech units.
You know, it used to be that if you were going charge blink with some Archons against the Immortal user, you would have a bit more supply and you'd have your third base quicker, and you'd basically try to deny their third and then kind of use your overwhelming unit count to counter the Immortals. Unfortunately, he never got into a position where that was very doable for him. We had a bunch of Blink Stalkers early on. They didn't really do anything. His third base wasn't that much quicker. Classic played a solid defensive game and continually harassed with his air units, so it's a tough one here for Trap. Who, again, I mean, he's playing very well, but Classic, oh my god.
That was huge. He just snipes the War Prism right out of the sky. And that was a full War Prism as well. I believe it was 2 Archons in there.
Yeah.
Snipes that immediately. And
his
actually,
army
I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the mini-map for a second, but somehow these 2 armies have gone around each other.
Well, the Trap is not going to be able to hold on against anything. He has like less of just about everything. Yeah, everything actually.
Oh yeah, no, that's a very tiny army by comparison.
He's just trying to take out pylons right now. I mean, maybe if he's making like a Dark Shrine, there's some sort of miracle play that can occur.
Yeah, even though both these players are taking serious blows here, and yeah, I mean, I guess Classic's base is unpowered. I think that all the key economic points for Trap are going to get wiped out here.
Yeah, Trap is losing everything. And I guess both of them really are.
Classic has, I believe, the better army as far as tech units go, Archons and Immortals here.
Classic only has 1 probe on the map, though.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's, I mean...
But this is about to change, right? I mean, we haven't had any probes evacuated here by Trap.
And I guess he's going to do a recall. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you want to fight that as Classic. Hey, look at that. He's actually, that's a great pickoff there with Trap's doing.
Okay, Classic's control has been pretty good here. Even with that many Archons, you know, the Stalker's not over here to help with the rest of this attack. They're actually isolated onto the low ground. I think Classic is still going to win this fight up there. Am I wrong about this?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Right now he's trying so hard to actually take down the Immortals and Prisms. Because those are kind of, you know, if you have Blink Stalkers, you can eventually kill everything in the whole world. But
yeah.
Immortals are just too strong.
Another warping of 4 Stalkers, excuse me. He just used the Blink. Oh my god. Okay, a recall.
Oh,
hold on.
Oh my god.
He gets 3 back there. There's apparently a Zealot here.
Dude,
hold on a second. I think actually Trap's army is just better enough. And none of the gateways are powered yet. There's also no... Well, hold on.
No, Trap's got this. He's now got this.
He should actually cancel.
It's funny
one
that
of
he
those
made 2 pylons.
Yeah,
it's like doesn't...
Now there's 1 Archon though, hold on. Whoop.
Oh, he doesn't quite have enough for another one. He's trying to get it though.
Okay, he's got that. Actually, 2 Archons could do
go.
this, Artosis. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, he's going to kite this pretty well. Hold on.
Oh, I'm surprised how hard he's diving on that Archon. I feel like you pick off the Stalkers and then everything's done.
Everything goes a little bit
easier. Yeah, he's got it. Wow, what a win by Trap. I'm really, like, he really was in a worse position there.
This is so crazy.
That's like an SOS victory right there. Oh,
yeah,
man.
He could just abuse the placement of the buildings. Look at that. He's never going to get touched. And Trap in a miracle play. Oh, my God.
Wow. Oh, my God. Classic's face right now really is kind of showing the entire range of emotions for that game. Classic actually outdid Trap for basically the entire game. Then the armies walked around each other. It's like, shut up, tasteless. Nothing's going to happen. Classic's army's so much better. And then Trap miraculously peels everything apart, does a recall, picks off the Prism and Immortal, and all the Immortals, rather. Damn. And then Blink wins the day.
You know, I do wonder about the second pylon. He made 2 pylons to power his gates.
I guess it was to get the Archons.
No, he didn't need it. He could have had 1 pylon at the gateway cluster on the left. That's like 5 gateways right there.
Oh, yeah. If you can power 4 gates, you're 100% right. Yeah. Then maybe he can get 2 Archons
and he's like a Zealot or something. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to go to a break. We come back. This PvP Best of 7 continues.
These complications spin my mind, but I know I gotta keep pushing through. Yeah, I keep doing my own thing. Yeah, never looking back again. I can get it, I can make it, yeah, I know it, and I'm never looking back again. Yeah, never looking back again. I can get it, I can make it, yeah, I know it, and I'm never looking back again.
Codes semifinals.
Welcome back. What a crazy PvP we've had so far. I'm really excited to see that Trap actually can win, and that was a really technical fashion how we managed to pull that off. We had like a base trade situation going down, and Trap had the exact right number of units to handle that. Archons, obviously stronger units than Stalkers, but Stalkers can be microed in such a way that if you have to pull it off, they will not get touched.
Yeah. If you're only microing your Stalkers,
possibly.
Well, we saw Alpha Star, right? We know that this is theoretically the strongest thing there is.
Yeah, theoretically the most abusive thing. By the way, hang on to your tickets if you're here at the studio. We've got a giveaway at the end of the show. T-shirts, photo album, and a scarf.
A scarf?
Which is
just
exactly
in time for
what
summer.
You need, yes, in the blistering summer heat here in Seoul. Now, I think there were some things that Classic maybe could have changed back there, and we might have had a different outcome. He did make 2 pylons instead of 1, and he got his Archon out a little bit later.
He dealt with the base trade incorrectly. I think there's no way to argue that. The way that he split his units to kill off the base of his opponent was off.
Down below is the information for our finals.
We'll be here.
Yes.
And that is on the 22nd at 5
We're
p.m.
allowing 2 tickets to be purchased by 1 person.
Just in case you need 2 seats. 1 for your bag and 1 for you.
I think also to try to prevent any scalping or anything like that. And then
the only scalping that's going to happen is to Dark's head from Classic, okay?
Get nerd scalps. It just keeps him, makes a pelt out of him.
Yeah, he's got a whole Dark jacket at this point.
Now, we're going to go into Game 3. By the way, as we always say, make sure if you're going to come to our finals, get a hold of a GSL studio ticket first, then get your plane ticket. Don't do it the other way around.
The finals is great.
Finals is a lot of fun.
Definitely come down. It's always super hyped no matter who's playing. But, I mean,
So we're going to go to Thunderbird for map number 3. And Trap 1 and this insane Hail Mary play. But I do feel like overall Classic is showing more optimal PvP.
Yes, he's playing better overall, and it's 1-1, but that doesn't really tell the story. This could very easily be 2-0 for Classic right now.
That's right. We'll have to see if Trap can continue to pull this off. We're going into Game 3 right now.
게임이 시작됩니다.
Makers Classic. Jin Air Green Wings. Trap.
Huh. Interesting stuff already. Gateway over on the low ground here by Classic.
Yeah, look at that.
That is interesting. What are we going to see because of that?
Yeah, he's definitely going to be up to something here.
Oh,
And that probe
I'm
is
really
about
not sure.
to come over here into the spawn location here for Trap. Classic here with an earlier scout.
I'm excited to see what he's doing here with this build. What is the strategy from Classic? Looks like it's going to be one gateway.
And then
Gate
there's a
Nexus.
Nexus.
That makes the most sense.
Expanding more quickly than the 2 gating Trap here.
Yeah. So will you full wall down there? Not entirely sure as of yet. There's a few different ways you can try to go about using a quick Nexus. Sometimes you just want to go into a lot of gateways.
Right.
I could see a world in which he wants to try to get Immortals out and shield batteries as his greatest defense. I feel like Stargate is maybe the least likely thing that we'll see.
This is one of the tricky things about PvP is, once the core is done for Protoss, then there's so many different branches in the build. It's one of the reasons why, if you play a lot of StarCraft 2, you've probably been tricked before with tech or surprised a lot by Protoss because they have this moment very early on where they can take the game into completely different directions. And so we're always waiting to see what are the techs going to be, and then how do those 2 techs interact.
Yeah.
Now, this one has an additive here in that there is key Protoss structures on the low ground outside of the natural expansion. So this is already a little bit unusual compared to what we've seen so far.
Now, Trap is trying to play reactively against this. Look at this. Okay, so the Stargate and a couple of depths. He had already started the Stalkers before he got there. The thing is, these are pretty obvious things that someone seeing this for the first time would do. So I feel like this is most likely what Classic is most prepared against.
Yeah. Well, Classic also getting a Stargate of his own.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, that isn't the first thing that came to my mind, but now he's going to scout, and obviously that'll be a good counter to Oracles because he can get Phoenixes to chase him.
Yeah, and also you just got your expansion up. So I think as time passes here, we're going to get into a position where Classic will once again be in a better spot than Trap here. And this time with more muscle economically, more freedom to kind of do what he wants. Even now chasing away Trap here. It doesn't seem like there's any holes in Classic Swing Expand that Trap could try to punch through to punish him here. You can see the battery's already healing this up here.
Very smart. Yeah, that second battery come up, so no depths could get through. Good building placement here. You can see how well planned out this is for him so far. He's not losing units as of yet.
So far, so good. It looks like he might lose this one Stalker. A little bit of a hiccup here.
Oh, wow. Actually cancels the second shield battery. That's interesting.
He holds.
Yeah.
Now that Oracle's going to come up here. We need to see how many probe kills this is going to get. But the Phoenix is already here, which means the Oracle now has to be used, unless he decides to retreat and then try to cover it later on.
All right, goes ahead, uses the recall. Didn't get that much done, though. Right?
Yeah, and you see that was recalled back to Trap's later expansion here. Classic is so calculated in how he approaches these PvPs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is... He prepped very, very well, you can see. He really had a precise hold against those early units. He had the wall up at the right time, the shield battery out. A very cool build pulled out from Classic. And look at this, he's up 8 workers right now.
Yeah.
That is substantial.
And it's Trap now trying to play catch-up. Now he might try to tech into a different direction here. The Forge is coming along now, as is the Robo here. So Classic, again, a nod towards winning in a longer game. Oh my God.
Oh man, this is a huge catch.
This gets even worse. Look, he can actually have one Phoenix each take on one Oracle.
Oh, that's painful. Just getting some tags off. Nothing really going well for Trap here.
Yeah, so far not so good. And losing those assets means less options. Now it seems like Trap wants to try to come out here and do an attack. There's been plenty of different tech routes that Classic is acquiring here, so maybe there'll be some fragility there, but I don't think so. You know,
yeah.
I mean, I don't blame Trap for trying. I mean, he has to try to do something, but I think Classic might just be ready for this.
I think that you are completely right. Like, this attack that we're seeing, I think that this might have been, if he could have paused the game and said, Artosis, you tell me what to do for a victory, I would have told him to go ahead with maybe a Prism Stalker or a 3-gate, something like that, to try to overwhelm. Because this was such a technical defense by Classic overall, and he's prepped the strat. It's not like he's doing it blind. You know, he put thought into what was going to occur, and now he's got Immortals making more shield batteries. Like, maybe he can still break him.
With every Immortal that pops out, it's going to be another opportunity here. Good force fields there. Trap is trying. He's doing his best.
Yeah.
Here come those Phoenixes, so when things really heat up, he can begin to disable some of the Stalkers. Again, as every Immortal pops out, it's going to get that much worse here for Trap. Now he's actually come around. He's below the army here. The Warp Prism's still in good health. A second Immortal does pop out.
The Zod's coming out is kind of neat right here. Definitely getting some real damage done right there.
Yeah, that was almost like Caltrop so that he couldn't chase him any further forward here. But now the Warp Prism goes down. The Stalkers will recall, not all of them though.
This was, like, Classic is just showing that he absolutely deserves to be in, like, every single GSL
Yeah,
finals.
he is styling on Trap so hard right now. I almost feel bad for Trap. Well, I mean, I think Classic, if he wants to, can counterattack, or he could just expand and throw down more gateways. He can kind of do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I think when you have 3 Immortals in a situation like this, you've shut everything down. Take your third base, just nail a very solid Army's timing attack. It doesn't seem like there's any way that could be held.
A further lead is taken by Classic as he snipes off a few of those probes mining at the gas. 3 Immortals, 2 no Immortals now. I mean, this has got to be almost a suffocating feeling here for Trap.
Yeah.
You know when you're playing against somebody and you kind of just don't get to do any of the stuff that you want to do because they're just so good at defending, and you know that Trap probably saw that quick expand and said, oh, what is he doing now? And then tried to come out and attack, and it's like, no, he's ready for that.
Yeah. Well, it's a different in levels still, but preparation as well. And the thing is, again, like I mentioned earlier on in the tournament, that I felt like Trap is very, very good, but he's absolutely not ready to win GSL. And I think you can see some of that coming through here as well, where it's like Trap is very, very good, and he is not as good as he's going to be. He is still improving. There's no question there. But, you know, for instance, some of the reactions that we've seen today, some of the preparation as far as the builds go, you can just see a higher level of that in Classic. Someone who is fighting so hard to get his second GSL championship.
Yeah, you can really clearly see it. He's just very methodically shutting down every possible opportunity until he's got Trap completely cornered, and then he's going to come in for a killing blow.
It's deadly watching.
Yeah. It's kind of terrifying to watch as well, just because, you know, a lot of PvPs are so action-packed and crazy, and instead it's Classic, just every step forward is a step towards his goal. You know, there's actually very little risk involved in what he's doing.
Yeah. And maybe this was his riskiest opening, but he knew it. He had it mapped out very, very well and anticipated exactly the types of things that Trap did.
It's one of the more fascinating things about seeing this happen in a mirror matchup. You know, the fact that you both start out with the same everything, you know, and then to see one player so gracefully, completely and totally take a lead.
Yeah.
With the exact same stuff they start out in.
And without their opponent playing poorly. It's not like he's just making stupid moves or something, you know. He's not making huge micro errors. It's just Classic's good.
GG. Classic takes game 2, meaning he only needs 2 more wins to move on to the GSL Cobalt finals. The Trap He has managed to take one game off of Classic, but it was one of those 1 in a million games.
Oh, yeah.
Came down to a small number of units. He had some very smart decision making, but it just seems like Classic has better blueprints for PvP overall.
Yeah. Classic is not missing a beat here tonight, with the sole exception of splitting his army a little bit wonkily and lose that base trade. Next
wonkily?
map, yeah, a little bit wonkily. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Some Tom Wonkery going on.
Wonkery going on. Turbo Cruise coming up next.
That's right, Turbo Cruise. This is
some Tom Cruisery on this next map.
Turbo Cruise 84. That's where it's all going to go down. Either Classic is going to be so close to closing this out, or Trap will unfortunately even this out at 2-2. A very important match here. Our game has now loaded up. This match of Classic versus Trap continues on.
Makers Classic.
Oh.
Chin Air Green Wings Trap.
Oh, look at that.
I wonder which position he's going to use for the cannon rush. Remember the cannon rush that Classic did here?
Yeah.
I wonder if he's just going to use that against him.
Here we go.
The answer is yes. He's using Classic's cannon rush against him.
Yeah. This is so great.
I'm going to do to you what you did to Sue.
Okay, here we go. The cannon will start on the low ground here, and that's to cover the pylon that's up here in the main.
Look at this, man. This is so fun.
And this is in such a position that it's very, very, very difficult to actually get workers down there to try to fight it. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say he fully closed this off so that another probe can't come up, so that's very, very smart. Now he has to kill the probe. It is so crucial.
Okay, he kills it.
Yeah, you know what? He's held.
All right,
that's
so Classic is just
My
so
God.
good.
Yeah, that's the only thing you have to do in this situation. If you wall it off all the way and then do that, it's because the cannon isn't over at the wall, so you're not going to break through anything. Classic actually just cancels it. Yeah.
Trap basically says, wait a minute, what is this rubber ball doing on my nose? And he says, oh, that's right, I'm a clown. And GG taps out.
Look at his face. Oh,
that's
man.
embarrassing.
Just like, well.
Classic knows he tried to pull a fast one on him. Just don't do that.
Classic, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, he's looking so good. I really hope that Dark wins against Hurricane, because seeing what he's doing to Trap right now, like, oh, Hurricane, I want more than a 4-0 at the finals, please.
You gotta highlight the emotions here as well. I mean, Trap went into that game going for the sucker punch. He was hoping that he would just pull the rug out from under Classic and steal that win away, even it up. Not the case. Now Trap has to win every game from here on out, or it will be Classic who moves on to the finals of the GSL Code S. We are going to go to a short break, and when we return, game number 5. Don't go away.
Can you hear me? I need you to hear me. Screaming out so loud, but my words don't make a sound. Tell me, can Is anybody listening? Didn't wanna let you go. Didn't wanna walk away with everything you didn't know and everything left to say. I'm done talking to myself. I'm gonna find somebody else. Tell me, can you hear me? I need you to hear me. Screaming out so loud, but my words don't make a sound. Tell me, can you hear me? Is anybody listening?
She got eyes like a neon sign, stare you down and make you cry. An iron will and a thirst to kill. You wanna see her stuff, she gonna show you. Her poison lips with the metal grip. She gonna pull you in and bleed you dry. She never miss with her electric kiss. You think you're tough, she gonna own you. I fell for the devil's daughter. I jumped in, yeah, I drank the water. Tell me, doctor, can you fix my brain? Cause everyone says I'm insane. Help me loosen this falling chain. There's no use talking, I'm a dead man walking. I was thirsty and I wanted more. Then she burned me with the rebel soul. Tried to warn me and I should have known. There's no use talking, I'm a dead man walking. She grinds you down till you turn to dust. Say your name and tell you lies. Sharp as a knife, I cut you down to size. You could try to run, she gonna find you. You never see you coming, so leave the engine running. She just a criminal, she right behind you. I fell for the devil's daughter. I jumped in, yeah, I drank the water. So tell me, doctor, can you fix my brain? Cause everyone that says I'm insane. Help me loosen this falling chain. There's no use talking, I'm a dead man walking. I was thirsty and I wanted more. Then she burned me with the rebel soul. Tried to warn me and I should have known. There's no use talking, I'm a dead man walking. So lock me up, but throw away the key. Cause I need shelter from the things I've seen. Save me from this lethal company, so I can breathe. You never see you coming, so leave the engine running. She's just a criminal, she right behind us. So tell me, doctor, can you fix my face? Cause everyone says I'm insane. This ball and chain, there's no use talking, I'm a dead man. I was thirsty and I wanted more. She burned me with the rebel soul. There's no use talking, I'm a dead man walking. A dead man walking.
Codex semifinals. (2019) Mountain Dew GSL Season 2 Codex Renaissance.
Welcome back, everyone. Classic is crushing through Trav. We had two games where I think Classic was just exhibiting that he has a better PvP sexton. He knows exactly how to direct the PvP matchup into a victory. We saw one game where Trap had an insane nail biter of a base trade that he ultimately pulled out and came out on top, defeating the two remaining Archons that Classic had with his 4 or 5 Stalkers. And then we had one game, and this was the most recent one, where Trap tried to pull a fast one. He tried to steal Classic's wallet. And he basically went for a cannon rush.
Yeah.
And it was so easily shut down. And now Trap has to win every game from here on out, or it's Classic who's going to be in the finals of Season 2, 2019 GSL Code S.
That is, I mean, that's a tall order. We'll see what he wants to do on New Repugnancy. Wouldn't mind him trying a cannon rush once again. He definitely messed up with that one, but a lot of the other stuff isn't working for him. So
yeah. All right, we are ready now for Game 5, Classic vs. Trap. Let's go.
Makers Classic. Jin Air Green Wings, Trap.
yeah. All right. I mean, so far, feels like 4-0 for Classic, but
yeah, well, I mean, it's also from Moscow. Welcome. Thanks for coming down, guys.
it's a good picture of Moscow.
Protoss at each other. The thing is, I don't really know if I believe that cannon rush was an impromptu cannon rush. I think that was a premeditated build. But it definitely looks bad when you're down that many games.
Well,
and you go for something like that, and Classic,
hey, okay, so
punts you into the next game.
Yeah, cannon rush. If you're going to cannon rush in a position like that, especially, I would say, it's, how do I put this? Like, it's all knowledge-based. You're, like, hoping your opponent doesn't know how to counter it, how to stop it. All cannon rushes are that to some extent. It's very heavily knowledge. It's not like you're, there are little bits of micro and stuff, but it's mostly just knowing how to do everything and when to do everything.
Yeah, there's generally like a cap on that micro. And then it's a question of, okay, do you know this exactly? I know we make that joke, like, I know this exactly, but that's actually what the cannon rush really is, okay, I have a memorized sequence. Can you actually outmaneuver my sequence?
Yes.
You have to do it perfectly.
Yeah.
If you screw up even a little bit, it's probably going to snowball into a loss for you. But if you know the steps, if you know all the DDR moves, if you can play that rhythm game perfectly, you'll hold it off.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in very high-level matches, it's a really great way to take one game and try to force the player to completely play by your rules. Obviously, it's something you can't do more than once or over and over, because then you just get exposed.
I think it's amazing to mix in.
Yes.
But I don't know, on a map like Turbo Cruise in that position, you're really hoping that they don't know how to stop it. Because the way he did it was just really good. And the thing is, I mean, I guess if you can keep your probe away from his probes and build a few cannons near his cannon, right?
Yeah.
And then still keep your probe alive. It's very hard to do in StarCraft 2. Anyways, all that aside, these build orders favor Trap pretty heavily. All of his buildings are on the edge of his base, and he's getting 3-gated with a prism. So look, he's going to scout all this and think to himself, okay, all right, the comeback. Because he should be able to do this. Oh, he didn't see the Stargate, actually.
Oh, wow, this is a lot more ambiguous than I thought it was, at least from his vision. But he's going to go ahead and try to attack out here anyways. So this is a little bit more rock, paper, scissory right now. And Trap with the upper hand in this. Again, though, we want to watch the execution here. A few missteps here.
Yeah, like maybe the Oracle can do ridiculous damage across the map, but This army 100% gets the Nexus and can break the ramp as well, and it can break the Stargate. So there's a lot of things that have to go right for Classic here to win this game.
Some batteries are being thrown down here.
Okay, let's see what the Oracle can do. Oh, no, nothing. Okay, so Trap is going to gain a massive advantage here.
Well, this is the kind of play that Trap needed, so this is very exciting.
Yeah.
Now, the question is when Trap gets an upper hand early on, is he able to then direct this game to its logical conclusion? Because Classic is a crafty player. I mean, most of these games we've just seen him take an edge early on, but let's see how he handles this.
Yeah, like the first step is trying to just hold overall, but then we have this situation, right, where he's put so much money into these other structures that are just getting killed off, and then so much money into staying alive with his batteries. Oh, look, it gets worse. I could see Classic GGing pretty quickly here. Like, I don't think you lose quite yet, because you still have, you know, it's still one base economy versus one base economy, but Trap should be feeling amazing at the moment.
Yeah, well, he knows he's at least started the comeback, right? He hasn't even closed out this game, but this is, you know, it's looking up. It's about as good as you can ask for against Classic.
Pretty much. Okay, so Trap going to throw down a Stargate.
And a Nexus as well. He's going to try to get his own expansion up here.
That's interesting on the Stargate. What do you think about that from Trap?
It seems almost like it's just him playing really, really, really safe. Like, see, these Oracles are going to come in. Now, they can one-shot probes, obviously. Well, okay, there they go. Yeah, if you get him synced up. But, you know, I think for him, he just says, okay, I don't want Oracles to be a factor anymore. I just want to get another base up, make
just
more
for
stuff.
A Phoenix, basically?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's maybe not the perfect way to play this, but, like, he's got a lead.
Yeah, like,
I think he's trying to play it in an extremely safe game here.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
I do like, though, how Classic is just playing powerfully, right? He's getting the Twilight. Does he go Blink? Does he go Glaives? I have a feeling it'll be Glaives. We'll see in a minute here.
Yeah, there it is. So going for the Glaives, getting a Warp Prism. Classic wants to lean in with a very powerful counterattack. And this is something that has to be taken very, very seriously here from Trap.
Oh, yeah.
Because Trap is the one who's actually going to... Okay, now hold on a second. Can he try to edge out? I think Trap should probably abandon this position right away.
Yeah, you really should have, I think. You're right.
Yeah.
I feel like a shade into that walk down would have been really powerful. But Trap's going to get out of here. So he'll end up saving his units. Oh my god, beautiful move there.
He's such a good player. I mean, this is the way he's intuiting this whole process is so excellent. Now he's continuing to pursue the small number of stalkers that are up here, and Glaives is on the way. Classic is hoping that the game is going to be a pendulum swing into a victory where his counterattack ends up winning. He went for economy, didn't work out, Trap denied it. Classic then goes to his plan B, which is to have an extremely strong timing attack that will then kill Trap.
Yeah. Well, I feel like right now Trap just needs to make a bunch of shield batteries, and that should do it. But
yeah, he needs to just sandbag the attack.
Yeah. And
drag the game out, and then he's ahead. But let's see how this attack actually goes. I mean, Classic is about to activate here on the map.
He has to make this work.
Yeah.
There's no question. Like,
it's going to end one way or the other very quickly.
You got to make this work, otherwise the probes are going to start getting out of control.
Okay, another warp in here. The second Immortal is merging with the army. We should see a shade here. Glaives just now finishes.
All right, 3 Immortals right now for Trap. Looking good at the moment, but I mean, 14 Adepts, Glaives, it's no laughing matter.
Keep in mind, there's barely any probes mining from that other base. He's hardly even used his fresh expansion. It looks like that Trap decides to go for it.
Okay, he's going to shade on top of everything, it looks like. All right, let's see what he can end up powering down here.
And he's going to be able to get one of those Immortals here. There's still so many Adepts here. Good targeting. It looks like the Phoenixes will take out the Warp Prism.
Yeah, such an important moment right there. Doesn't quite get that Immortal, unfortunately for him. Actually going to shade up. Maybe there's going to be some play here if he gets a bunch of probes.
Yeah, that's actually another way he could actually pull this game.
Yeah, because he's even making that proxy pylon. He wants to keep this aggression up. He does not have a Nexus at his natural.
Yeah.
So things have to happen here.
It's 25 workers to 21 Trap, lower in workers, but of course with 2 Nexuses, he can replenish that pretty easily. Again, no Immortals right now. It's just these base tier 1 units. I guess Classic's going to try and expand down here, but I feel like I feel like Classic's opportunities have almost completely dried up.
Yeah. He is rubbing 2 nickels together to make a quarter right now, and it's not going to work. Very, very tough situation. He's still just kind of shading around, microing where he can. It's like, do you make units? Do you save for a Nexus? There's no right answer, only wrong answers.
And so this game, unlike some of our other games, it was very decisive early on. Trap's technique worked out. He took the lead. Classics tried to do something incredibly decisive to push his way back into a victory. It failed, and from here it's Classic in an incredible deficit, and Trap should just win this game.
Especially since he has like Phoenixes going. I was just thinking to myself while you were talking, what he could maybe do to come back, and sometimes you can go like Disruptors or something, but against Phoenixes, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So
good point.
I just don't know what could possibly get him the comeback here. Look at this supply differential and everything. I guess the worker count isn't so out of control.
Look at this, just murdering these sentries.
Good micro though by Classic, I gotta say.
Yeah. Well, there goes all that gas invested.
It's very important that he killed those 2 because it seems like that was his attempt at a get out of jail free card, is a bunch of force fields and just tearing apart the army that way.
Got to commend Classic here for not giving up. He's really putting up a good fight.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to get one of those crazy base trade wins, though, like we saw from Trap. Might be time for a Dark Shrine when you're this far behind.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I don't know if that's going to work. Well, Trap now almost doubling supply of Classic here. He's probably going to go back and try to get his own attack off now. And this should be a killing blow.
There's no way.
By the way, this is what most of our PvPs have looked like this season.
Yeah, no, this one is... Okay, that is super duper over.
Yeah.
My God, that's a lot of units. Okay. Trap fighting back. How many more wins does he need? All of them.
All of them. But hey, this is step 1.
Yeah.
It could be the start of a crazy comeback here in the GSL.
Every journey starts with a small step.
That's true.
Or a big step or whatever, you know, just a step in general.
So Classic takes that last game. That means it's Trap takes that last game. Classic with 3 wins, Trap with 2. So the question now is, can Trap do it again?
Well, if he wins this next one, suddenly it's anyone's tournament.
It's very true. Trap with a superior build order. Not much Classic can do to try to survive that attack.
That was a bit, as far as build orders go so far this series, there haven't been like really sharp differences. This game there really was.
Yeah, I mean, some of StarCraft happens before the game even starts.
Yeah.
The type of opening Classic was looking to go for. Trap was something that was engineered to actually punish any player who was trying to play kind of a standard.
Yeah.
I'm going to get an expansion.
It's a very good build that he did.
But he's going to have to do it again. And there's so many different avenues that Classic can bring this into. There's so many different builds in PvP. We're going to Kairos Junction. If Classic wins here, it's over, and he moves on to the finals. If Trap wins, he's managed to pull that comeback even closer, and we will go to game number 7 on Cyber Forest.
All right, here we go. Game 6, Kairos Junction. Trap has to win.
게임이 시작됩니다.
Makers Classic. Jin Air Green Wings. Trap.
I feel like Classic is just not much of a Twilight guy in this matchup.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Well, if you had to have a scale, he definitely still leans towards conservative
Yeah.
in PvP.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, the Robo is generally, and basically any iteration of StarCraft is generally considered conservative, especially Robo and expanding.
Yeah, I do
Right.
the most conservative Immortal all-ins all the time.
You absolutely
They're
can,
the safest all-ins you've ever seen.
you can do all-ins with Robo, but Classic doesn't seem to want to do that very often. He seems to really want to have a second base operating, and try to have cut as many corners in that process that he's basically ahead.
I feel like I've been watching him Steven Seagal trap all night, where like trap
breaks
runs
his
at
neck.
him and then he like flips him over and breaks his neck in one smooth move that's been like sped up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have you seen this video of Steven Seagal being interviewed by UFC?
No.
I guess he's like taking all this credit for. I don't know. You
Oh, did he create UFC?
No, he's taking credit for when somebody wins a fight. He's like, I knew that was gonna. You gotta.
I'd love to
YouTube it.
see
It's
that.
actually hilarious. It's also Steven Seagal takes himself so seriously. I'm like, oh god.
Well, he should. I mean, he's one of the original action heroes, Stasis. I mean,
He is.
come on.
He is.
Jeez.
Wasn't Dan in Street Fighter? Wasn't he modeled after Steven Seagal?
Oh my God, that
Did
would
you
make
notice that?
perfect
Yeah.
sense.
No,
yeah.
I think he was
Yeah, he might be.
because
I thought he was modeled after me with how weak he was, but that makes more sense
Yeah.
because they don't know me.
Yeah. Okay, so Stargate and Robo here. Classic going for that Stargate, getting the Nexus down here.
Yeah. The placement on that Stargate is a lot better for Classic this game than in the previous. I love that Trap is just doing the same thing again, basically. It's like, this is a good build.
Yeah, it worked. Let's see if it happens again.
It's,
If it's not broken, don't fix it.
to be honest, in my opinion, this is overall the best build in the matchup right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Well-
I think it's just so, like, you have all these options. You have the 3-gate to start, so you just
Yeah.
have a lot of units, and then you also have a Robo, so, like, what's going to kill you?
It answers a lot of questions or a lot of things that could be thrown at you in the matchup. It answers all that and gives you the opportunity to take control, to get tempo, and to initiate your strategy before they might be doing theirs.
Yeah. And Classic this game scouts it very quickly, sees what's going on. Again, better building placement this game for sure.
Yes.
Getting his shield batteries up. He's getting right into a Robo. He's making multiple Oracles. I think that's a good call. Flying there with 2 Oracles. So rare that you make an Oracle in your main base and they don't have a shield battery.
Mm-hmm.
How rare is that?
Quite rare.
Super rare.
Here comes that
It's
Oracle.
rarer than a live dinosaur, Tasteless.
Oh, only gets 1 kill there as the Oracle has to leave.
Yeah, the Prism coming up.
Ooh, is he going to see these Adepts coming here?
I like that. Warp in some Adepts on that side so you can actually go get a little bit of damage done.
Yeah. There's a very high chance Trap has no idea that's coming.
Yeah.
Shield batteries, healing shield batteries. This is what we wanted. This is what, I know that you guys were hoping for that when we came down here, and yes, we did get to have shield batteries protecting shield batteries. So
That's what I was hoping
this
for.
is the finest PvP you can ask for. That's about as Protoss as it gets.
Yeah. Okay, so a good force field there by Trap, actually. Wow, look at that.
Just gonna get the kill on the Sentry.
Yeah. That's what you get when you heal your own shield battery for so long. No energy left on your other shield battery.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a cool move, but there
Okay.
are so many Stalkers here, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, Trap really getting to win on both fronts here.
Yeah, he's wrecking right now.
Oh my god. I cannot believe the Classics didn't lose this. Okay, that is huge. He is still boxed in. He is not going to get another Nexus anytime soon.
So,
Okay, no.
oh my
My
God.
Heavens to Betsy. What? He's going to get an Assassinate on the Immortal?
Yeah, and
Are
not
we
just
just
that,
going to go
Lance.
immediately to this
He
next
wins.
game? Yeah.
Holy crap!
Trap just did it. Oh, Classic looks pretty pissed right now.
Well, he has nothing to be pissed at but himself, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
well, I
he
mean,
was
what is
playing
that War Prism doing there? You know?
A lot
my
of things
God.
have gone wrong for him in this game.
He gets the other War Prism.
Oh my God.
Okay, well,
This is so crazy. How many, like, Trap is
okay, you know what's so
killing.
I was looking at Classic during this right when that skirmish finally ended, you saw him just throw his head back, and really frustrating moment there.
Yeah.
As he's saying, okay, I am so screwed now in this game.
No, it's the worst thing ever.
Classic was ahead 3-1. This game, it looks like it's going to conclude with a 3-3 here.
Yeah, like, how do you ever end up winning this game? Like, I like what Classic's doing. He's going directly into disruptors. Again, that's a great way to try to come back. All you need is a disruptor and a dream, and a couple lucky hits.
Yeah.
So maybe he can pick those up. If Trap had like Blink right now, the game would definitely be over. But he's just sitting there on 13 Stalkers, right? So there's this situation in which 2 disruptor hits, kill 4 Stalkers each, and suddenly we're much closer to even. There's a Stargate on the way. Going into... this is actually really cool that he's going Phoenixes with all these Stalkers after this aggression. I'm going to throw this out there because
my God.
I think that this is, first off, a perfect tech choice when you have the edge like he has. Phoenix with the Stalkers, and it looks weird because the composition itself doesn't sound like it makes a lot of sense. Phoenix Stalker. This is actually something that Alpha Star was doing. I just want to put that out there. You gain a little advantage with Stalker aggression, you go into Phoenixes, and Phoenixes kind of counter every other thing that your opponent can do.
Yeah.
Because the Stalkers, you can kind of out-micro everything, and then you can lift up stuff or harass, you can do anything.
Kind of perfectly negates every other opportunity that they might be able to find.
Yes.
It's just like, no, we have it'll mute anything.
Yeah.
That's remaining here.
Just Stalkers in that will, like...
The math is no longer fuzzy with that.
Look at that prison. That's the worst prison ever. I can't imagine if I was just stuck and there were 4 frozen Tasises around me. And that's why I was stuck. I just couldn't get out. They were all too close.
Well, now he's going to get the kill on this, too. Get that disruptor shot ready.
Ooh, nice split.
Yeah.
Well done, though. Good lift, too, to save that sentry.
Well, this game is... Oh, go ahead.
He went into the Phoenixes, but didn't really do much with them. He's just kind of sitting them around. And the thing is, they will counter the disruptors reasonably well. I feel like there was potential for a move out in here. Didn't end up doing, but that's fine. I just think it's really cool to see him go into the Phoenixes with the Stalkers. Just like, no blink. No, doesn't matter. These Phoenixes will disable all the things that meet Stalkers. I love it. This is such a cool play.
Well, Trap has that lead. He's getting that third base. He's just staying ahead. He's winning that race. It's very interesting to see how Classic plays when he's behind here. And we've already talked about it earlier, but I think the disruptor play is actually the answer.
It's got the most potential for sure.
Yeah.
You're just going to fight him with less Archons, Immortals, and Charge Lots? Well, that doesn't sound smart.
A disruptor in PvP out of all the other units you have, that's the unit that can actually swing a fight way harder than anything else.
Yeah. Couple disruptor hits, like you're going to be taking down Immortals, Archons, groups of anything. I love it. And the bigger the armies get, the more powerful the disruptors become. When it's smaller armies, you can kind of split everything and micro more intensively, but when you have these gigantic balls walking around, these other gigantic balls just go in and kill them.
Also, if you look at a lot of PvP fights, most of the time, if there aren't disruptors involved, a lot of it just comes down to the angling.
Yeah, and the numbers.
Did the Archons and the Zealots get a better arc around the other, Zealots and Archons?
Yeah, and he also has one more Immortal.
That's right, and here's an Immortal and a Warp Prism being juggled, but the Disruptor... 3 or 4 good pot shots on an army, and suddenly you snowball the game into a win.
It's like the Disruptor makes it so math doesn't really count as much anymore.
Yeah, well, it comes down a lot more to finesse then.
Yeah. Or vines, as we used to call it in earlier seasons of GSL. You remember that? This guy with the ID vines in all caps. It's like, no, it's finesse. No, it's not. That's the word vines. Sorry.
Bleak is about to finish here for Classic, and his third Nexus is a little bit later.
Yeah, man,
he's doing a good job playing from behind.
This is super cool. Now, I am loving what we're seeing.
If Classic wins this game, though, it is the scariest thing ever. Because Trap is so good at getting a lead. And I feel like if Classic can prove that with a nearly 30 supply deficit and forced into a completely different tech, if he can pull this off, color me impressed.
Well, it looks like such an old game. If you had shown me this replay like 2 years ago, I'd have told you that right now what I'm watching is a Chinese player in the red against a strong Korean player in the blue.
Yeah.
Like, really,
Yeah.
the
like
Chinese players are the first ones that were showing off, like, this type of comp against Blink Disruptor. But the fact that all these Phoenixes are here, what the hell is that all about?
I think it was
Classic?
Deer playing, too. Looks like Trap might try to come in here for a fight. We got to watch those Disruptor shots.
Look how many Phoenixes Classic has. He has real potential here. Oh, get
Ships
wrecked,
the
Archon!
Okay, here comes another shot. Oh!
Oh my God.
It's happening.
Well,
one Disruptor is targeted down. I can't see the other Disruptors. Looks like these shots are coming
Oh my God, the Disruptor hits are big.
Is he going to pull this off?
I don't know. He has so many Phoenixes left over. I think he is.
I can't believe this.
What
Is
a
he actually going to
weird
hold this
comp.
off? Well, hold on. With this many more Zealots coming in here, it might not matter what's in the air because everything on the ground is going to be dead.
I mean, it's a lot, but how much Phoenix energy do we have?
Oh!
Well, we're losing a lot of probes, but we're killing a lot of Zealots, too.
10 probes gone.
I'm actually a little bit surprised he's warping in the Stalkers here. I feel like he just needs a little bit of buffness here. You know what I mean? But I guess he'll need those against Archons, right? Archons are like the true counter to Phoenix. Okay,
Yeah,
if he
he's
can
gonna
kill
try to
all
get
these.
some pickoffs here on these Stalkers before the Archons can finish.
He's got to target Archons with his Stalkers.
Nice snipe on the Templar.
Oh my
Gonna go
God,
for the
oh my
War
God.
Prism. He gets the War Prism. He does.
Huge kill.
But does Trap already have too much?
He's on 3 bases, so probably small chance here. If he can just pick off these Archons, he can kill everything else with the Phoenixes.
Yeah. Again, just like we saw in one of the other games that Trap wins, Stalkers can out-micro Archons. Look at this.
Yeah. Oh, try to save those.
Those are the same.
Wow.
Those are the same Stalkers that won that base trade earlier. The same 5 Artosis.
They're getting the children of the other Archons. They came back for revenge.
That's right. I can't believe he held that. So crazy.
That was so weird. The mass Phoenix part is like throwing me off a little bit, but it killed the other Phoenixes so hard because he had more Phoenixes. The true counter to what he was doing actually would have been mass Phoenix.
Yeah, well, what's funny about it is that the Phoenixes are great for cleaning up, right? So you take out the remaining Stalkers with your Phoenixes, and then you have your own Stalkers to fight their Archons, which is the only thing that Phoenixes can't really directly address.
Yeah.
And then, once you've won that fight, you have the opportunity to go across the map and kill off as many of their workers as you possibly can, which you just did. Here come those Disruptor shots. Good pickups.
Oh, yes, indeed. Really, really well done right there. Well, he comes in and kills that Prism, so... Oh, a good hit there. Gets a lot of the Zealots.
Okay, another pickup here.
And the Archons try to reduce the Phoenix count a bit. Yeah, I think that hit 2 of them.
Yeah,
no,
it did.
Did it? Okay.
And he's going to keep coming forward now. He's going to have to get a recall over here. How many Phoenixes are left over? Where do they go?
I think like 6, I want to say.
He could go counterattack. He's going to send the Phoenixes back across the map.
Yeah, I think
in fact,
he is
that's what he's going to do.
But this is just Archon charge lot forever now for Trap, right? There's like nothing else you can get into unless he somehow got into Blink Stalkers. I feel like that's the only unit that would be better
Well,
here.
it looks like he's trying to steer the game that way.
Oh, there's only 3 Phoenixes left. Okay. So he actually reduced that number quite a bit.
I think we're just now having...
Oh, yeah. No, he is getting Blink. You're right. Oh, that's brilliant,
Yeah.
I think. Because that's the one thing where you're like, well, I have a bigger economy, so guess who has more Blink?
Now he's going to come forward here. Good snipe on this Immortal.
Oh, that was the double shot. Not paying off.
Snipes that Archon. Backing up now. Oh!
Good hit.
He's got to be careful. The way the AI operates, a lot of times clumping is your worst enemy.
Yeah.
Simply being active and moving organically causes your army to clump up.
Yeah.
And so a very mobile Classic on the map might end up really exploiting that fact here against Trap, and then a few good Disruptor shots and the game is turned on its head.
Well, as he gets into his own Stalkers for composition, I feel like that's where it gets really, really powerful as well. But I guess when you hit critical mass of Stalkers on both sides, the Disruptors start to wreck again.
Yeah.
Because, like, you can't use smaller groups that can dodge disruptors super easily, because then the big group of stalkers beats that.
Yeah.
Right? But in like very much lower numbers, if you have more stalkers, that's going to be very helpful. Wow, what a wild game. This is a great one.
Yeah, this has been really exciting to watch. And by the way, Trap had a huge lead early on here, and this is classic. Just getting so much out of the little that he had early on.
Yeah.
He's actually brought this to a game where they're basically even on 3 bases. Supplies are virtually the same. It's Trap with slightly more workers, but army sizes are the same. And, you know, with disruptors, 1 or 2 good connects there, and suddenly you are way ahead.
Yeah. Both of them getting back into Phoenixes right now. +1 is going to be finishing pretty soon here for Trap at 17 minutes and 20 seconds or so.
We do have Trap actually taking 4th base here, right down there.
Might be time for Classic to start thinking about something similar.
Now, we're at the point in time where you don't want more disruptors, right? I mean, there's definitely a limit on how many disruptors you can control.
Ah, it's a good question.
Right? I mean,
well, you can keep making them. Like, you can have an absurd amount of disruptors as long as you have, like, a pretty big army so that you can't just have stupid stuff like one charge alt comes and you have to use a disruption shot against it, right? Like, you need other units there as well. Classic's actually getting glaives. What's that? Why are you getting glaives?
Huh. Yeah, look at that. I guess you get a few good disruptor shots off. It seems like it's so late, though, for glaives. Like, what? But
yeah, they're generally not that good late game.
It's one of the upgrades that's probably the least good once you're in, like, Archon, Zealot, Immortal.
I think Adepts late game in general are very questionable for anything.
He might be trying to fan out Adepts and try to do some harass here and there to pull some of the army away, and then he wants to come in with a really tight attack with his Disruptor army. I'm not sure. I certainly don't think Trap has this floating around in his head as a possible tech option that he might be up against.
It could be a harass-based thing as well, right? Like, warp him in far away and then just shade him in.
Yeah, sure.
It's
That's
like
possible. 4 bases is a lot to cover in PvP.
Yeah, it really is. Look at this.
Okay,
Back to
here we
those
go.
weird Phoenix Wars. It's so funny. They both went back into Mass Phoenix. One more for Trap this time, so that's good.
Here comes the
trying to split him.
Again, it's risky business being out on the map with a Warp Prism.
I feel like it's time for a Dark Shrine, by the way. And I'm kind of all over right now, but oh, look at this. Trap is actually just diving upon the board. Forces a cancel. Beautiful.
Okay, now Trap is going to try to continue to keep his lead here.
Oops.
Both these guys are playing so well. Gotta be careful in these angles.
Yeah, some pretty good hits right there.
The arc is definitely better here for Trap, but we need to see how those disruptor shots actually connect.
Good lifts overall in the disruptors, I would say. I think Trap might be able to take it right here. He's really reducing everything to rubble.
Yeah, I think he's going to be able to pulverize this entire army. GG, Trap does it! We're tied up 3-3!
How does this happen?
Hell yes!
How does it happen? Trap has tied it up. He's one game from going to the finals after, when it was 3-1 off of a bad cannon rush, man, did that feel like we were just going to have an anticlimactic day. But here we are, Classic. Something happened in there somewhere, Tasteless. He hasn't been playing as well in these later games, and Trap has been pulling it together. He's been hitting some good build orders, executing them well. And now we go down to Cyber Forest, our last map.
This is so exciting. Now, keep in mind, Classic, he's the older player. He's supposed to do his compulsory military service here in South Korea very soon. And Trap, I mean, he's come to new heights here. It would be insane to have him in the finals, but both these guys, you know, with so much on the line, it's going to be cool no matter who moves on, but this might be, you know, one of the last moments we see Classic actually get this far.
I almost feel like right now, Jin Air Green Wings is a storyline boss. You ever play one of those games where like there's someone that you should beat in the game, but it's a storyline boss where like you must lose so that your character can be set back or something?
Oh yeah, sure.
And
yeah,
you can't beat him
like
no matter
in those
what.
RPGs where you're like, this is just not. Do I have the wrong weapons?
Yeah,
And then you die,
and they're wrecking you using all your potions, and then they're just like.
And as long as you didn't
storyline
rage
goes on.
quit or restart, then you see that sequence where you've been captured now.
Yeah, I feel like that's what's going on right now, where Jin Air's like, They hit a button. It's like, we're in the finals again.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the difference between the first games and these last games, the thing is, I still feel like Classic is playing, like, he screwed up that one game, right? But overall, he's playing very well. Like this last game, for instance, in the beginning, he fumbled a bunch of little pieces. Like he was doing strategically some good stuff when he got caught with that build order. I don't know, though. He played beautifully later on when he was so far behind to make it that close.
I wonder what Trap will try to do in this game, because he's definitely followed a pretty consistent pattern since the comeback.
Robo 3 game, man.
Yeah, and so, I mean, do you do that again, or do you want to try something crazy? I do feel like if he doesn't do the Robo 3 gate or something crazy, I think in a standard game, I think Classic wins. I think Classic is just bigger, faster, stronger.
I think a lot of it will come down to the openers and how well they execute everything. What are they choosing?
That's for sure PvP in general, but I think if it's close, the closer it is to standard, the more likely I think Classic is to take it. If it is in a very unorthodox game, then I just don't know. Trap has won 2 games just recently with the same theme. Will he do it again here on Cyber Force? We're going to find out. This will be the last match of the night. After this, we crown a winner here, and someone will move on, either Classic or Trap, to the finals of the GSL Code S. And our game is now loaded up. Let's go. Classic vs. Trap, the last match.
게임이 시작됩니다.
Makers Classic. Jin Air Green Wings. Trap.
Okay. I think that there are 2 possibilities of what Classic's going to do this game. He took a little breather for after that last one, right? This is a small ramped expansion, right?
Yes.
So if you're going to attack, it's uphill. I think what we'll see from Classic here is either just the 2-gate expansion, the kind of safe one where you have like a sentry and you make stalkers and you just kind of scout out what they're doing and try to get your base up, or he's going to do a robo. Because I feel like those are the 2 where he should not screw up too much early on this map.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's, well, is he going to hide something here? Maybe I'm completely off, but I kind of agree with you that he's been outplaying overall.
Well, they're both proxying.
Oh, this is funny. He's going to actually scout traps. That's a big deal.
Okay. That's huge.
Oh, and he skirted around it.
Yeah, so he won't even know that that's going to be there.
Yeah, he'll probably go double stalker and just go kill that.
Big catch there.
It really is.
Again, though, so much of PvP has had things hidden on the map, but, the better these players get at ferreting out those hidden locations, the weaker those hidden locations are going to become.
Yeah. Trap is actually kind of looking for any sort of proxy as well. We'll see if he puts anything down. Okay, he actually finds the pylon. It's kind of fine. They both found each other's pylon. Classic's going Stargate, but neither of them are proxying anything at it. Like, if Trap was making, like, a Stargate there right now, and these 2 stalkers are on the way,
yeah,
I'd be really feeling for him, because that could be game-ending. In this case, it's really not, right? He's likely to lose a pylon. Like, if Classic wants to commit to that right now, he will get it. But what more than that?
Here comes the robo. He, stopped it for a second. And there are Classic stalkers moving out. Going to get rid of this pylon. Actually, somewhat impactful this early on to lose a pylon.
Trap's making a frog face. He doesn't like it.
Yeah. He's not having a
True
good time.
frog face right now.
That's a feels bad, man, frog face there for that pylon.
Ooh, I like that probe. I really like that probe.
Yeah, that's a very well-hidden probe. Adepts are coming forward. Will he commit? No, canceling the shade here. And it is Trap who's trying to squeeze in this additional Nexus. Classic's Nexus starting a little bit later here. and it is easily spotted there by Trap.
Yeah, he sees the exact timing of that, so he knows that there's not any heavy aggression coming his way. Very helpful. Will he actually try to scout the main now? Yeah, it looks like he's going to. Classic blocks it, I believe, but you know what? He saw the Oracle coming out, and that's what's important.
That's right. It's a Classic basically having map control. It's Trap in a very defensive position.
Yeah, he's got this Oracle out, kind of checking out what's going on, and he's getting into his own robo right now. So in these positions, like, I think both of them have played very well, but I would give a slight edge right now to Classic.
Yeah, I like the direction he's brought this in a little bit better.
Yeah.
Now there is a Warp Prism coming out, so Trap may try to start picking a fight here pretty soon. Got to be careful against Stargate tech, because one Phoenix makes it impossible for a Warp Prism to operate independently on the map.
Yeah. And I think that that'll be an easy thing for Classic to get out right away. Scouts what's going on. But yeah, in this situation, it's kind of like you guys are doing the same thing, except one of you has 2 Oracles.
Yeah.
And that's obviously a big deal, even if they only scout. If they do nothing else but scout and throw down like a stasis ward, that's still really useful. You're going to be, your opponent is much more in the dark than you.
We definitely want to watch to see if there's any good tagging here on that army. It looks like one, oh, it actually gets away. I really thought that was dead.
Oh, he might be able to pick off like a couple sentries here.
Okay, one does go down, not bad.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll lose a Stalker for that, for sure.
Yeah, the energy and one of them for a Stalker, totally.
Okay, now these 2 Adepts have come in here. Nicely done. There is a Warp Prism to boot. And there's really not very much to defend here. A Stalker will not kill Adepts or a Warp Prism quickly. And so good usage of those Oracles there to come back and try to drive that away.
Yeah, forces him out of there. Classic does have a bit of a probe lead, but pretty close so far. All right, he's coming up with his Stalkers. He does have that Prism for the juggling. Very, very important stuff. Some stasis wards going to be going down. Well, I guess just one. I think that's all the energy he has at the moment, but he does have an Immortal coming. No shield battery. That's a bit of a big deal.
Well, now Trap decides to back up a little bit more. Oracles, by the way, there's a tag we wanted to watch for. That's the one thing, you know, PvP is so much about preempting an attack and being ready for this, that being able to tag that Warp Prism is huge. And he may even send that Oracle down there later on and tag it once more.
Forge on the way for Classic. He's really recognized that this game is going to go on a lot longer. You may as well do that. Even cancel his shield battery as natural as he saw the army turning around. So he's very on top of the small little pieces of his build. Wow, nice harassment there with the Oracles as well.
We're in that situation. They're both powering on 2 bases. The Forge is generally a nod that we're going to go for a longer game here. You need to start investing in upgrades. Nobody seems to have any kind of opportune timing attack that can really end this game.
It's really nothing. I'm surprised he hasn't started his +1 there, though.
There it is.
All right, about time. He still has his Oracles ready to go in. Again, even tagging here is really valuable, seeing where your opponent's army is at.
Oh, yeah.
Some cute moves here, but I mean, what are you really looking to get done? It's not like there's creep you're going to clear, right?
Right.
There's no pylons out on the map for him to snipe. Like, you know, you're not likely to get that much done. Okay, the Immortal drop coming out, though, that has some real potential.
Oh, actually, getting this Observer is really nice.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Another little victory there for Trap.
Scouted, throwing down his ward. Of course, Trap does not have a Stargate, so yeah, without that, without Blink, dealing with this Warp Prism harassment, it's going to be a little bit harder for him.
Big gateway explosion here for both of these guys. There's 2 Temple Archives being made over here for Trap. One just finished, but there is a second one making. I think he just canceled it.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Actually, pretty big deal if you. We'll see this with pros, where occasionally they'll make 2 of the same structure, especially under duress.
Yeah. Well, there is no more duress than this, really. Or Game 7 of the semis, right? Looking for this victory.
Okay, there's
finals.
Not quite enough to help defend this. Hold on. Going for that Warp Prism. Excellent defense there by Trap.
Yeah.
And I think Classic respectfully leaving that. He does not want to overextend. To lose this game over a Warp Prism would be, that's just a bad way to go.
Yeah.
It's bad enough to lose like that on a ladder game, but when it's like the GSL Finals game and it's a whoopsies, yeah, definitely avoid that.
So the third Nexus coming up for Trap right now. Taking that little pocket base as opposed to the high ground where he laid the Stasis Ward. We'll see if Trap, rather Classic, wants to do that as well. Both of them powering, yeah, he starts +2, so that really points towards the third Nexus. Again, you know, this has to do with the shape of the map. This little ramp, you can't really attack up there with similar armies, right? We were talking about that a lot in King's Cove, where it's just almost impossible to break.
Yeah.
I love that people are starting to catch prisms with Archons and prisms.
Yeah.
Because Immortals are the scariest thing in a prism, unless you're fighting another prism.
Yeah. It's interesting to even see Archons and Prisms used as a defensive measure. I mean, it makes sense when you just see the way that the units interact with each other, but, you know, we're so used to seeing them, Archons is specifically, I think with drops, I think a lot of people think of PvZ, you know, but just coming in and doing harass like that. But yeah, I mean, it can totally be used in this way as well.
Some of this, at this point, I'm like, I guess you can do it. Not really finding very much, taking some Archon shields here and there.
So the powering has begun. Upgrades coming down. Continuous Immortal tech here from Trap.
Okay. That's some pretty reasonable.
Yeah, this is not going to kill that though, right?
No.
There's going to be something here to drive this away.
That
Good
would
pickups.
be so possible. Classic's going to have his +2 sooner. He's slightly up in supply. I'd love to see the actual mortal counts right now, because that, in situations like this, becomes so important. Where are you engaging and what's the immortal count?
Nothing mining here at the third just yet.
Yeah.
Still waiting for some probes to get transferred there. Workers are staying very low here.
Yeah.
You know, this is sort of the player who gets a little bit greedy here may end up getting overwhelmed.
You almost never get a fully mining third base.
Yeah.
It's like you start running out of mineral patches and you send probes, and that's how it works.
Yeah, it's almost like that third base is a placeholder.
Yes.
Like it's been claimed.
Yeah, it's good to make it because it puts pressure on your opponent.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, attack me. It's like, no, you didn't make probes. I'm not going to.
Here comes that Warp Prism now. Oh, hold on.
Oh my God.
Trap looking for a fight here. Classic on the high ground, though.
Surprise, he's trying to attack
Archon
up here.
connects really good on those Zealots there.
Ooh.
But Trap, I don't think he can go any further. There's no way he's going to be able to push up that. Meanwhile, I think there's a harass going on in Trap's main.
Yeah, he has that Archon drop,
Yep, there it is.
rather the Immortal drop out there still. Maybe that's why he felt like he could engage, missing two Immortals out of your army, but if you have that high ground concave, that makes a bigger difference than just two Immortals.
Recall back over here.
Realizes just how aggressive Trap is being right now.
Map control going to Trap here, but Classic may decide to roam out on the map here in a little bit.
This is really neck and neck right now.
You want to definitely count recalls here as well. That's another little positional play.
Yeah.
Who has to recall first, and then
Sure.
you know, are they going to be able? Are they going to get out positioned here in the long run?
Okay, did you see that? He was just chrono boosting probes. He's making 3 probes at a time.
Yeah.
So Trap right now is trying to get ahead economically. It's been very close, very tight. Right now we have 8 more Zealots here.
Yeah, we had a static economy for a little while, but he's going to try to come out here. Very difficult angle for our blue Protoss to try to come down there. Classic still fishing for an answer here. Is he going to just commit? Oh, he's got to be careful. Good pickups there, getting that Archon. Again, a lot of times, you know, as the dust begins to settle in the fight, you really just want to count how many Archons and Immortals are remaining.
Yeah.
The Zealots are basically, it's like a meat shield. They're there to just get in the way.
Watch these prisms. This is a big part. Oh my God, Classic just trapped him. Look at that. He went in there like he had Immortals. No, it was Archons.
Yeah, and he actually wanted to
What a
try to get
tricky
the other
move.
Warp Prism there. Another Warp in. He's beginning to make an arc. He's going to
my
tear
God.
down the rocks over here. And this could be almost a full surround here on this army if this attack is executed correctly.
God. Oh my God, is he actually going to try to attack down into this?
Hold on.
I don't
He's
know about this.
rearranging. He's going to go to the natural. It was a bluff.
Oh my God, look at this move from Classic. He's getting up into the natural. Now, he doesn't have as big of an army as that army that's coming up to meet him.
This is such perfect control here. Now the Zealots are trying to get up here to help with this fight. A hallucinated Colossus there.
Oh my god, I don't know if the ramp is good enough in this situation. I feel like Trap has actually split his army much better than Classic. Classic has taken the initiative here, but is that going to be enough? He's trying to hold the ramp.
I think with some of these Zealots coming in here from behind and a great recall, that's going to force Classic to try to recall back home as well. Can the counterattack then from Trap actually smash this expansion?
Oh my god.
I think that's a very real possibility.
Yeah.
However, Classic still has these Zealots and Warp Prisms up here. This could be enough of a nuisance that it causes the army to go around, but I am looking at a naked third base here for Classic. Nothing there to help defend.
I think Trap is moments from his first GSL Cobalt finals right now. That was a very tactful move from Classic, but absolutely not paying off, losing huge chunks of his army. Great splitting by Trap, great defense.
Classic's got plans of his own. Classic wants to try to defend his second while destroying the economy over here at the third. Actually going for that Nexus there. The bottleneck is not going to be a safe maneuver to come up, and the Nexus goes down. So hold on a second.
It's a big move, but that's not really enough right now, right? The army size right now for Trap is vastly superior. He's got twice as many Immortals and twice as many Archons. And you're always telling me that that's what I need to look at.
That's what you got to look at, Artosis. So, both these players economically in shambles. We don't have a third base for Classic. Trap is missing the Nexus that is natural, but that's almost a diminished set of patches.
It's not as important.
So it's it doesn't matter as much. And Trap has outgrown Classic, but you know, tactics may be a bigger factor here than simply army supply numbers.
Yeah, well, it certainly was before because Classic had the bigger army, then made some poor tactics and lost it. So definitely is something that matters a hell of a lot, whether you do it well or you do it poorly.
Okay, he
look
backs
at this. Classic right now is consistently threatening with his prism. And if he did not have that prism right now, I know people want to nerf the prism.
Again.
If he didn't have this prism, man.
Oh,
no.
Speak of the devil, he doesn't have that prism anymore, Artosis.
God. Yeah, well, without that prism, I feel like this game would have already been over. But now that he's lost it, what is your move? He's down 30 army supply. He has less Immortals. He has less Archons. He doesn't have a Nexus at fresh mineral patches. There's an observer over his army. Trap knows he's got this.
Yeah. Trap is looking to come in here for a fight. Classic is patiently keeping a very good spread. And the question, though, is Trap just going to pull the trigger? I think he just has so much more, he might be able to just force this.
Oh, my God. That is going to be that. Classic is not going to go to another finals. Trap is going to break through here. Only Archons left juggling here from Classic. And it's all he has left to him.
And I think even with the best juggling in the world, it is not going to be enough. And Trap, keeping the dream alive, comes back after being down 1-3, winning 4-3 versus Classic. GG.
And our two favorites of the season are out. Maru falls early. Classic in the round of 4. Jin Air once again sending a player to the finals. Trap taking down Classic in a ridiculous comeback victory.
That was such an awesome Protoss versus Protoss. And it actually went to Game 7. That's just statistically rare, guys. We don't normally have that happen. It's just an anomaly. Normally it's a 4-1 or a 4-2. And to come back like that after being down 1-3, that's incredible. In a moment here, we're going to be having an interview with Trap and see how he's feeling now that he's in his first GSL Code S finals.
Well, what a series that really was.
네,
Here we go with the interview.
생애 첫 결승입니다. 정말 감격적인데요. 자, 진에어 그리닝스 조성우 선수 바로
This is his
만나보겠습니다.
first ever
축하드립니다.
finals. Please welcome Trap.
정말
Congratulations,
축하드립니다. 생애 첫 결승.
This is your
소감
first ever
어떠실까요?
final. How do you feel?
솔직히 저번
Honestly,
4강에서도
last semi-finals, last semi-finals I failed.
실감이 안 나요. 이번에도 좀 스코어가
So
몰려가지고
that I feel quite
지나
numb
싶었는데
right now.
좀 믿기지가 않아요 지금.
I can't believe this
믿기지가
moment.
않는다 말씀을
He can't believe this
하셨습니다.
moment.
정말 오래 걸렸거든요.
It took so long
그동안
to be
결승 엄청 오랫동안
to finals.
꿈꾸고 생각하고
you
연습하셨을
dream
텐데
for long and you
결승은
practice a
나에게
lot for
어떤
make to
것이었어요?
the final. How do you feel?
선수로서 꼭 한번
As a
가야
player,
된다고
as a professional player,
생각합니다.
I really wanted to go to finals.
선수 했을 때 자랑거리 약간 그런 느낌. 네.
It's
가고
kind
싶은
of.
무대 결승이라고 말씀하셨는데요.
I really wanted to go
오늘
to
조성호
finals.
선수의 저력 정말 깜짝
It
놀랐습니다.
was
오늘
amazing game.
계속 스코어를 따라가는 입장이었거든요.
You're
선취점
chasing.
먼저 내주고 나서
classic.
동점. 그리고 또 1대3으로 밀리고 있던 걸
It was
한 점
3-1.
따라가고 또 동점
And you
만들고
keep trying.
그걸
you
역전까지
keep
했습니다.
chasing
두
classic.
번째 4강 무대인데 이렇게 뒷심을 발휘한다는 게 정말 신기하네요.
It's really difficult to
심리적인
make
압박 없으셨어요?
such a
그냥
tight game.
한 세트 한 세트
Wasn't it harsh for you?
하는 것만 잘하자는 생각으로
I
했는데
tried to do what I can do.
카이로스 정선에서 게임이
At the Kairos
이겼었는데
I had
이겼다는
a.
거 이제 제가 깨달으니까
I was quite
내정지가 오는 거예요.
advantageous.
그래서 그 게임이 제일 힘들었던 것 같아요.
That was
사실
such a
유리할
tough
때
game.
오는 그런 실수들이 정말 큰 위기가 되는데 오늘 이렇게 역전 드라마의 주인공이 됐습니다. 와, 오늘 반격의 시작 엘리전에서부터 나왔죠. 와, 그런
To defeat
그 귀한
classic,
타이밍부터
it
모두
becomes from
최선의
elimination
판단,
game.
최선의 컨트롤을 보여주셨는데
You had
그
good
엘리전
control,
양상까지도
micros.
혹시 연습이 돼 있으셨어요?
Were you practice a
아니요,
lot for
연습은 안
micros?
돼 있었는데
I
제가
wasn't really practice a lot.
좀 그 판은 좀 너무 급하다고 생각도 있었고
I was a bit.
그 투집 정관이 탄 분광기가 터져가지고 아 이건 망했다 그냥 이 생각만 하고
I thought
있어가지고
this game was quite.
어떻게 하지라고만
great.
그냥 생각하고 있다가 이거밖에 없다고 생각해서
That's
그런
all
판단을
all I
내렸어요.
can do in the set
와,
two.
오늘 정말 이렇게 뒷심 발휘하는 능력부터 최선의 그런 경기력까지 지난 시즌 4강이 정말 생각이 안 나요.
I
이렇게 한
can't even remember
시즌만에
the last
완벽하게
semifinals.
달라진 모습
You
정말
you show us
독하게
totally
연습하셨나 봐요.
different game
연습은
this
게이머
season.
하면서 항상 독하게 연습했는데
How did you do this?
그게 발휘가 안 돼가지고
I practiced really a
많이
lot.
속상할 때가 많았는데 요즘에 잘 되니까
I
너무
was
마음도
quite
편하고 좋은 것 같아요.
세계 첫
sad that,
결승
I
얼마나
couldn't
기다려질까요?
I
결승
couldn't do well
상대는 누구일지도
the
참
tournament.
기대가 되는데 박명우 선수와 남기웅 선수 어떤
you're
선수가
going
내
to face
결승 상대로
either
꼭
Dark
올라왔으면 좋겠다
or
생각을
Hurricane in the
하세요.
finals. Who do you prefer as an opponent?
뭔가 영우가 요즘 잘해가지고 또
In these days, Dark doing
저그전
pretty well.
요즘 토스가 유리하다고 말 많다고 알고 있는데
Lots of
저는 저그전이 좀
people say that
어렵거든요. 그래서
PVZ
김용희가 편할 것 같기는
is good
한데
for Protoss.
영우가 올라오면 그런 대로 재밌는 경기가
I
나올
think
것
if
같아요.
오늘
Dark can make
2019년
finals, it's gonna be
토트전
fun
무패
series.
기록이 있는 김도우 선수까지
You defeated
이기셨잖아요.
Classic,
어려운
who has
상대가
a winning streak
어딨어요?
against Protoss. How do you feel?
근데 솔직히 네,
Honest?
경기하면은 다 이긴다 마인드로 요즘 하고 있어가지고
When I play the game, I try to think I
겁나거나
can win
그러지가
this
않네요.
game. I wasn't really
조성우 선수의
afraid to
결승전
face Classic.
현재 누구보다 그동안 결승전을 정말 많이 찾아주시기도 했던 부모님께서 정말 좋아하고
Today,
계시네요.
your parents visited and
네,
your
울고
parents
계시진 않을지
going
모르겠는데
근데 본인은 굉장히
your
담담하신 것
parents
같아요.
will be very happy with
아직
it.
실감이 안 나서 그런 것 같아요.
저기 계시는데요?
There's your parents.
네.
자, 부모님께도 하고 싶은 이야기 있으실 것
Any words to
같네요.
your parents?
정말 오래 기다리셨는데 꼭
They've been
부모님이랑
waiting
형이랑
for so long.
형수님께 우승 트로피를 꼭 선물해드리고
I want to
싶어요.
give them my
네.
trophy.
팀원의 결승전이 아닌 나의 결승전을 꼭 하고 싶다고 이야기를 하셨었는데요.
Trav
드디어
said
나의
he wants
결승전입니다.
to
나의 결승전
he wants
각오
my finals, not
전해주시죠.
my teammates' finals. Do you have any determinations for the finals?
요즘에 게임이 너무 잘 돼가지고
Nowadays,
준비할 때도 생각도
While I'm practicing, I
생각나는 대로
feel
잘
really
풀리는
good,
것 같고 그래서
and I'm doing really good.
준비하던 대로 하면은 괜찮을 것 같아요.
I try to do what I prepare to do.
우승해야겠다는 압박감보다는
I
편한 마음으로
rather
하고
than I
싶어요.
네, 편한
pressure
마음으로
on
하겠다
winning the
말씀하셨는데요.
finals.
다시
I
한번 첫
try to feel
결승
real
진출
comfortable on the
축하드립니다.
finals.
감사합니다.
Congratulations to your finals.
네, 이렇게 생애
This is
첫
end of interview.
결승 진출을 이뤄낸
Alright, thank
진에어
you, Wongi.
그리닝스 조성호 선수
Wow, so Trap saying he
만나봤는데요.
wants to
자,
give the
지금까지
GSL trophy to
이기였습니다.
his parents. I tell you, not only would I not give it to my parents, I wouldn't let anyone even touch it. I would put it inside me like the blue chick from Fifth Element.
I can't believe the Trav's in the finals.
I know, isn't
what,
it crazy?
What a great best of 7. That was so cool.
Look at that. Like I said, Jin Air Green Wings producing finals 6 times in a row. 6 times in a row.
And this is a real indicator of Trap being able to overcome all odds. You're down 1-3 against Classic. Everybody says he's the best player in GSL. with Stats and Maru long dead early on in the rounds of 32 and 16. You're going up against Classic. Classic looking unstoppable, looking to have completely mastered PvP. Even Trap's cheese didn't work, and he still managed to come out, winning one of those games in an insane base trade as well.
Yeah. I mean, things, I guess, ended up going right for Trap, but it certainly didn't look like it was going to go that way. I was so certain after Game 4 that there was no chance, but Trap did it. He held together. I think Classic is really going to be kicking himself, is the other big takeaway here. He's so close. I think he is the best Protoss in the world right now, but he's not going to win GSL again. So close, yet so far.
What a twist.
Yeah.
What a twist.
To be or not to be.
And we're not done with the semifinals, guys. We're going to be back on Saturday at 1 p.m. KST, as we are usually here, to give you a PVZ.
Is Dark going to be able to make it to the finals?
I think so. Otherwise, it's Hurricane.
Hurricane's deadly, man. His
He is very good.
PVZ is sharp. But Dark, he knows what to prepare for. Will his biles stay true?
Let's hope so.
Will he be able to stop the pushes of Hurricane?
So do join us for that. It's going to be an action-packed PVZ. And what a twist it would be if Dark wins here and then wins in the finals.
Well, it would be about time. This guy still doesn't have a GSL title, and it's weird. And he's gotten second at BlizzCon. He's gotten deep so many times in so many tournaments.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a championship for GSL yet. And that's like, if you want to be the best Zerg ever, I guess you don't have to do it because Cyril hasn't done it, but like...
It would be nice if he did, though.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I have to drop that, but Dark should win a GSL eventually.
It would be very
he
cool.
hasn't yet.
Well, and you know, Trap winning is also very exciting. It shows that the landscape is changing for who is on top. Don't expect the guys that won previously to necessarily be the ones that are going to win now. Another indicator of just how competitive StarCraft 2 is right now.
Yeah, a lot of top-end players. So congrats again to Trap for making it to his first GSL Code S finals. What a big deal for him. Don't forget, we have the finals coming up. You can buy your tickets on the 17th.
It's all the information that you need is right down there at the bottom of our screen. Again, only 2 tickets per one person.
The tickets will sell out, just so you know.
Like, do it immediately as soon as you can get them.
Yeah, that's 5 p.m. KST on the 17th in Korea, which
Right.
means it's probably the 16th for you.
Please pick up your prepaid tickets on site. Entry is completed 10 minutes before the finals start.
Wow, that's quick.
That way you don't have to hang out
It's
here
like
all
a
day.
reverse fire drill. Everyone get in your seats. Oh, trample.
And that will be down here at our studio. We have quite a big studio down here. I think a lot of people are surprised when they come down and realize how many people can actually fit in here.
It's a lot.
And it will fill up. So, again, make sure that you do that immediately, whether you're here in Seoul, residing here, or you're actually flying in to come see the finals.
Yeah. So, it's been great. I'm excited to see who the challenger will be for Trap. Whoever it is, we're going to have a brand new GSL champion.
That's
Classic
right.
was the only one in the round of 4 who's won GSL Code S before, so that's kind of fun to get someone new on the wall.
It's going to be great to have a change here, although it was getting a little bit crazy how many times Maru actually won. This is not his season this time.
No.
And look, personally, I would be very excited to see Dark win because Dark is so good. He's beaten basically everybody. He always looks like he could be someone who's going to win, but he never is.
Yeah.
At least when we're casting.
It just hasn't happened for him. He dies in the round of 4 generally.
It'll also be interesting to see how our 2 new players are able to handle the pressure of a finals. Way more eyes on you, way more pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
These guys, Ro, he's obviously very scary, but not as dominant as like Stats or Rogue or.
I think for Dark,
Maru.
there's nothing there. He's not going to be shaken. I
Sociopath
think Hurricane,
levels of non-fear.
I think Hurricane, if he makes it to the finals, that's going to be some real nerves.
He could be very wiggly.
Yeah, and I think Trap's right in between there. He's
the Goldilocks level of anxiety. Right in the middle.
Sure.
We are going to close it out, guys. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you on Saturday, 1 p.m. KST for the second half of the Final Four. We love you. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are.
Tell me what you hate about me.
This is my world.
Let's make it count.
I must practice tolerance.
Next, GSL Season 2.
Renaissance.